and then have him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Your home is your most valuable asset. If you are sick, you go to a doctor. And when something is wrong with your home, you call an expert. Did you know over time, sidewalks and driveways can sink and crack, causing trip hazards or worse? Matt Vey Foundation Repair is the industry leader in concrete repairs. Their foam injection process corrects concrete problems in a matter of minutes. And their Pentec concrete floor coatings will add durability and style to most concrete surfaces. Call now for a free estimate. Also ask about payment options and financing. Matt Vey Foundation Repair. Go mattvey.com. Rock built, rock solid. When an emergency happens, be the first to know. Alert Seattle helps you stay safer and connected. This free service includes alerts about severe weather, safety, health, utility disruptions, major traffic accidents, and more. If you live or work in Seattle, Alert Seattle is the city's official emergency alert system. Sign up for text, email, or phone alerts during emergencies near your home, work, school, and more. Text Alert Seattle to 62783. Alert.seattle.gov to learn more and sign up.
When a product is made better, it lasts longer. Sounds simple, but Toyota of Kirkland wants you to know it's actually savvy. With Toyota's certified program at Toyota of Kirkland, you can score a high-quality, low-mileage Toyota at a great price. Talk about savvy. The tremendous team at Toyota of Kirkland has plenty of certified inventory for you to come see, test drive, and take home all in the same day. Now that's truly savvy. Visit the Savvy showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or toyotaofkirkland.com.
We're here with Corey Heston, owner of Heston Door Service, with big news. Heston Door Service has been voted best garage door company in the Pacific Northwest by you, the people, in the Seattle Times.
Thanks, John, and definitely thank you to our customers. But we're not done yet. Heston Door Service's goal is to be your one-stop shop for commercial and residential garage doors. We provide service and installation all the way across Western Washington. Find out more at HestonDoorService.com.
All right, Seattle fans, the gloves are off. Techline has the strongest warranty in the business. Give Techline a call and we'll come out for a free inspection. Take advantage of our easy financing and our summer special. Trust Techline.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a fifth-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. Forward, if you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law, battle-tested.
Eddie's! 911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors. With Floor Coverings International, the mobile flooring showroom comes to you. Book an appointment, pick out the flooring you like, and they'll order and install it for you. It's that easy. Visit FCIFloors.com to book an appointment. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
This is Seattle Sports.
From the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks!
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners lost a heartbreaker yesterday afternoon to the Rangers, falling 6-5 thanks to a late comeback. They'll open a series against the Astros tonight. Bryce Miller on the mound. The Dolphins are facing even more trouble at quarterback. Starter Tua Tagovailoa is on the IR and concussion protocol. As you all know, it was Skylar Thompson who started yesterday's game. Head coach Mike McDaniel told reporters afterwards it was a rib injury that took Thompson out, and the team isn't sure yet about the severity. Tim Boyle, who was activated from the practice squad, took over in the second half for Miami. The Dolphins also signed Tyler Huntley last week off the Ravens practice squad, so he could see a backup role this week for Miami if Thompson can't play.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. The Seattle Seahawks are 3-0, one of just a handful of 3-0 teams in the league, and that is great news. Now, statistically, without any context being that typically teams that are really, really good have a better chance of starting 3-0. Without any context, just so you know, teams in the past that have been 3-0 have made the playoffs 74% of the time. So that's great news. And honestly, Bump, Curtis pointed this out Friday, the Seahawks kind of just need to play 500 ball for the rest of the year to be at 10 wins.
There you go, looking forward again. We settled this on Friday. You said you weren't going to look forward, but
I can't help it.
I can't help it either.
I can't help it. I mean, 3-0 is a good place to be.
Yeah, they took advantage of a great situation. You play a rookie that very first week, then you play a New England team who you thought was a good ball club. Who knows who was who at this point of the year? And then you take care of business against a backup and then the backup's backup. Mm-hmm. But you're getting better in certain areas when it comes to this football team. It's going to be easy for people to look at this 3-0 and invalidate it. Like, oh, no, man, but look who you've been playing. I don't care. This is the NFL. This is not college where wins are guaranteed. Teams are losing. The Raiders beat the Baltimore Ravens, and then they lose to the Panthers the next week. Mm-hmm. That is the NFL for you. So you win the games you're supposed to win, and you sneak a couple in. Playing 500 at this point will be great, but I would love for a Monday night win. But focusing on this game, there was some good that happened and some things that need to be fixed.
I do want to get to that conversation about people feeling like, oh, I just want to add context to these 3 wins, which I feel like is really important. Let's just hold off a couple minutes on that part of the conversation, which I really want to focus on. Start here by instead, let's just look at this game and kind of the main thing that stood out to us. To me, it was that against this Miami Dolphins offense, a 10-point lead, much less a 14-point lead, was enough. Like you didn't end up needing to do anything else. That offense could not, for the life of itself, get into the end zone. Also, though, while there were a lot of offensive lulls, and I still have questions about the offensive line, I was for a second week impressed by Geno, for a second week impressed by DK, for a second week impressed by a lot of what they did offensively, and Bump, we saw a much more effective run game this week.
Yeah, we did. Big ups to Zach Charbonnet. Now, he has, we were trying to figure out, me and Paul, we sit next to each other during the game, and we're figuring out, okay, what's the difference between Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet? It's clear, though, right? Ken Walker's just a different type of back. Zach Charbonnet is the type of guy who needs a few more carries to get into his rhythm, and he needs the help of the perimeter a bit more than Ken Walker. Ken Walker can just make things happen because of his explosiveness and his wiggle and his vision. Zach Charbonnet is just a different type of back, and we saw as the game progressed, he got going. That drive where they went 11 plays, 98 yards, 4 touchdowns, and kind of sealed this thing, he had 42 rushing yards in that drive. So it takes him a while to get going. Kenny McIntosh, thank you for getting Kenny some playing time. Kenny, his first carry was like +6, but then Anthony Bradford got called for a hold, and I felt so bad for the dude. I say, please get him another carry. He ends up with 3 for 11. Just nice to see him out there. I also saw him in the pass game a bit. He was open, but protection collapsed, so they weren't able to get to him. But, when you rush for 100 yards as a squad, that is a good place to be because it just makes teams respect what you're doing in the box, which opens up everything else. That's why one of the reasons why, minus the big 71-yard gain that DK had, he was able to go back-to-back 100-yard games.
If we are looking at what we're taking away defensively, again, before we get to kind of talking about like, hey, let's add context around this 3-0 start. If we're looking at what we're taking away defensively, I'm going to get to it a bit more in what caught my eye. To me, it was the defensive stand at the goal line twice. This team, Miami, got within 4 yards of the end zone and could not punch it in. What to you stands out defensively?
I think that's a big one. Geno throws an interception trying to avoid a sack, gets it to Zach Charbonnet, and you're thinking, okay, Miami's probably going to put up 7 right here if they put up 3. And that was the only 3 they put up the whole game. I'm going to talk about it a bit more, that there were so many guys who played on defense. And for that, I'll really highlight it. But you had a lot of guys in there getting valuable reps. I appreciated that. And then Defensively, I liked the pressure that they were getting out of the young guys. We're watching Boye Mafe and Derek Hall just become grown men in this league. This was the type of player that the Hawks thought they were drafting when they picked up Derek Hall. It took them a while to get here. It took them a year, which is fine. I wish teams were more patient with quarterbacks like they are with rush-ins, but it took him a year to kind of figure things out. Now he is in his own. He had the best game of his career. Yep. So good for them, man. And that's without Uchenna Nwosu. And that's without this defense played pretty good ball without Uchenna, without Jerome Baker as well. So seeing these young guys make these plays and start to build this confidence is fun to watch.
I wrote down for Derek Hall the sack that he had on 1st and 10. This was in the second quarter. Miami has an 8-yard run down the middle. Achane has a 13-yard run. They're really moving 1st and 10, and then that's when Derek Hall works around their right tackle, Austin Jackson, for a sack, which ends up forcing an out eventually. They get to 2 and 18, can't convert. 3 and 13, can't convert, and then they punt. So key play by Derek Hall there. I wrote down literally it looks like Austin Jackson just kind of patted Derek Hall, like, good luck out there. Best of luck. Like, Derek Hall, good effort by him to work around the right tackle, work around. I think they had the tight end chip blocking or something.
Yeah, D Hall, when they drafted him and I'm watching his film, the first word that I thought of was just explosive. And last year he didn't look explosive consistently. He looked like he was second guessing himself and just trying to feel the game out. Whereas now he's playing with a confidence that he just didn't have last year. And that comes with reps. That comes with understanding his role in the defense. And maybe it's the coaching staff as well, just gassing him up. You know how many times as a coach, I straight out lied to a kid. Hey,
Lil Bobby?
Hey, Lil Bobby, you gonna make plays this weekend, Lil Bobby. I know dang well Lil Bobby is up against a 3-star that's probably going to Eastern
Bobby
Washington.
Is 4'11".
Hey, but then Lil Bobby believes. He starts believing, and he's making plays that he didn't think he could make, and then it becomes contagious.
Yes,
so
he is.
I'm not saying they were lying to Derek Hall. He's in the NFL, right? But I guarantee you, they were gassing him up. We believe in you. You're going to make plays. Just try this move right here. So it's the messaging that can get these guys going. Everyone who makes it to this level can play and bring something to the table. It's about bringing it out of them, and I think that's what we're seeing out of D. Hall.
I said that I wanted to get back to that conversation bump about the context around 3 wins. So let's dive into it, because that is what I am finding people kind of saying most as a retort. Like if I tweet out, hey, teams that have started 3-0 have made the playoffs 74% of the time. There is quite obviously context that goes along with that, right? Like, yeah, well, teams that are really good are more likely to win.
Right.
And, teams that start 3-0 are more likely to have been legitimately great and continue to improve. This is not me saying the Seahawks are going to make the playoffs. This is me saying they're off to a really, really good start that mathematically is a good boost, because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room that you wouldn't have otherwise had now with the rest of your division being 1 and 2. However, I'll be devil's advocate here. They have faced 3 of the worst quarterbacks / worst offenses. I mean, if you want to look at EPA and CPOE, just like effectiveness and efficiency for quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, 25. Bo Nix, 28. Down there with Deshaun Watson, who's been struggling. Caleb Williams, who just threw his first NFL touchdown. Bryce Young, who's been benched. And then Anthony Richardson, who's figuring it out. New England, fewest passing yards per game of any team. So if I want to start poking holes in the Seahawks 3-0 start, I can see where people look.
Yeah, for sure. You look at personnel, and you look at it always starts with the starting quarterback, right? How much pressure can a team apply? We know that Tyreek Hill was not the guy that we are used to seeing, because he doesn't have his number 1 quarterback back there. Waddle wasn't the guy that we're used to seeing. But I will say that 3 weeks in, Denver has the number 3 defense in all the land. All right, you played that defense. You did well. 3 weeks in, you got Miami, who's around 9-10 when it comes to defenses and all the land. I think they were top 5 when it comes to the pass. And now the Hawks have moved up to, I believe, top 5 passing teams in the league right now. So you got to look at matchups. And overall, you look at these teams, and you always start with the quarterback. And if teams are able to produce points, and you say, well, you should be able to beat those teams because they don't have the guy under center that can apply some pressure and make you have to respond. Because there was a point in this game where you felt like the responses are done. You just play solid defense, and you should be good to go. And you would be right looking at personnel and going through and saying, well, they didn't play an elite quarterback, which is fine.
Yep.
But you have to win these ball games. When I look at the Seahawks schedule, they still got to play the Niners twice. I don't care what's going on with the Niners. You know they're going to be good to go. You still got to play the Bills. Are the Jets for real? We'll find out by the time the Hawks see them in December. You still got to play the Packers. Malik Willis, big up Malik Willis, man. Had himself a game.
Great job.
And then you still got to play the Vikings, who are 3-0 right now. That's way down the line. So because you don't know what teams are going to be down the line, you have to take care of the now and today and appreciate the wins however you can get. You know what I did? And Dickard snapped me right into it. So I texted Dickard on last night. I texted him. I go, man, they ain't always pretty, but they got personality. And he goes, wins are always pretty. And I go, you are exactly right. It don't matter how you win. Don't matter how you do it. You get the W because you don't have 162. You got 17 of them things. And you have a lead in the division right now that you can expand on every single week. My goal for this team was to come out of this 4-game stretch 3-1.
Yep.
And they have opportunity to do that.
Overall, I do agree with you. For the sake of kind of keeping the conversation going, I'm, kind of looking at these things. I just want everyone to know that the way I see it is like wins are wins. And if nothing else, even if you were a bad team, like the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0. I don't think Pittsburgh's a good team. Like, I don't think Justin Fields is a top 5 passer. I don't think that offensive line is the best in the game. I don't think that, they are going to be like a number 1 seed in the AFC. They're 3-0.
3-0.
So, again, that's how some people are looking at the Seahawks. Some people are looking at the Seahawks, and because they don't pay close attention, they're going, that defense was 31st against the run, and they have Geno Smith at quarterback. I'm not taking them seriously. Like, I am telling you, there are people that are looking at the Seahawks the same way that you might be looking at the Steelers going 3-0. Okay. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Whereas you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and you go, 3-0. Great start. Kansas City, amazing team, best quarterback in the game. Those wins have been close,
I'm not looking
man.
at them like that.
No, Isaiah Likely, toe out of the end zone. That maybe is a win if Baltimore converts a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
You look at a horrible 4th and inches call from Atlanta. That maybe is an Atlanta win if they manage to actually successfully maybe call a different play and move down the field. Kansas City's offense has not been super explosive. So again, there's all kinds of context you add to these 3-0 starts.
Kansas City gets the benefit of the doubt for people because of what they've done the last 6 years, and they've earned that. Like, I'm looking at their 3-0 and saying it ain't a pretty 3-0, but you also know that over the years, the Kansas City Chiefs have found ways to figure it out towards the end of the year and say, okay, let's go. You're looking at the Seattle Seahawks, and they haven't been able to do that the last few years. So people are looking at their personnel against the personnel they played against and saying, we shall see. That's fine. You got to take the 3-0 however you can take it. When it comes to the Steelers, they're 3-0, and everyone else in their league or their division is 1-2. You have to take it because you're going to lose ball games and you're going to stumble a little bit. And these wins early can help you through some things late in the season. So, it's a long season. I love it. This has been probably one of the more exciting football seasons in general in the last, 3 or 4 years.
Well, and because there's so much parity from other teams, too, like Baltimore's 1-2. You know what I mean? The Bengals, who I believe play tonight, are 0-2, still looking for their first win of the season. I thought Miami would be a little bit better. Obviously, the Tua situation makes it complicated, but there's just some really fascinating games that have been happening. It feels like even more parity to start the season. Great defensive play to start the season. Some suppressed offense to start the season. Not for Seattle though. Geno's looking solid.
Geno look good, man. He's second in the league when it comes to completion percentage. His touchdown interception ratio is 3-3. You want to see that improve a bit. I have my feelings over those interceptions, which I'll get to later on in the show. But yeah, man, you'll take it. Minnesota 3-0, they're gonna take it. Philly 2-1, they'll take that 2-1 because they haven't looked great. And New Orleans 2-1 as well. So this has been a great start to the football season.
All right, we are gonna stick with the Seahawks for the first hour. We're gonna be looking at the league's remaining 3-0 teams, kind of continuing this conversation, and then obviously taking a little look to some of the tougher opponents that Seattle's gonna face and the test it's gonna have. That also is what we're gonna do at 10:30. Seattle's defense legitimately looks improved, but we do have one big question. Again, that's coming up in 15. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it. Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Rams pulled off a late comeback to beat the 49ers, and the Lions beat the Cardinals, meaning the Seahawks 3-0, while the rest of the NFC West is 1-2. What's the real headline?
Hopefully a 2-game lead in September isn't the same as a 10-game lead in June.
Oh, dang.
I hate to see that just disappear into thin air.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. But here's what we do know. The Niners are going to get healthy. They're going to play better football. We know that the Rams are going to be well coached. We saw these guys be 3-3, and my buddy JB Long said, look, they're going to be a playoff team last year when they were 3-3, and we laughed at them. You know what they did? They went to the playoffs. So this is a long season, and but you have to enjoy this start, man. You're applying pressure on the other teams. Usually the Hawks, the past few years, have been the teams kind of looking up at the division and saying, all right, we gotta have a nice little month. We gotta have a nice little run. And you're chasing the Niners, you're chasing the Rams. So it's nice to be the hunted, but you got to keep hunting.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Mariners fell to the Rangers 6-5 on Sunday and blew their best shot at drawing to within a half game of the third wild card spot. What's the real headline?
It's okay. Now we just need the Mariners to do something they haven't done all season long. But before we continue this, Curtis, can you explain a little bit of the remaining playoff math for us?
Yeah, so they've got 6 games left. They're 2 back right now of the third wild card spot, but every team in front of them holds the tiebreaker, so they're really 3 back. So if they go 6-0, you have to hope all of those teams go 3-3 or worse over that 6-game stretch. By the way, the Mariners have not had a 6-game win streak all season long. The longest win streak they've had is 4.
They also had won 20 consecutive games when scoring at least 5 runs or more until that game against the Rangers, a 6-5 loss. It feels like, Bump, maybe I'm coupling this with the weird play with Julio getting tagged out and Robles trying to steal home. It just feels like the Mariners this year have just, I don't want to say cursed. They've done it to themselves. They left themselves no margin for error, and then they had weird things happen. It just feels like a season that has beaten us over the head with just odd moments and sad moments.
You ever seen the movie 8 Mile? Have you seen that one?
Yes, I've seen 8 Mile.
Why are you surprised that I'm asking you?
Well,
I mean,
fair.
For the culture, I hope you've seen that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it I did for the culture.
Okay,
I
Eminem.
said, I have to go see this young white man.
who has bars.
I hear he has bars.
Remember his homie shoots himself in the leg?
Yes.
That's what the Mariners been doing all year.
They're
shooting
plexico
themselves
bursting
in the leg.
themselves.
Yes, it's crazy, man. They had an opportunity, right? The Royals lost 2-0 to the Giants. The Twins were swept in a doubleheader in Boston, and we're watching this go down. Me and Paul Moyer sitting next to each other in the press box, and he's like, hey, Bob, man, up 5-0. Hey, Mariners, and then he's going through all the scenarios, and I'm listening. I'm saying, okay, sounds good. He goes, oh, man, it's 5-4. I'm like, what happened? What happened? Go 3 home run bomb. And then he goes, game's over. Munoz gave up a walk-off. I go, what just happened? That was like 30 minutes, and things have changed so quickly. It hurt, but I was not surprised, man. They've been doing this all year. It's unfortunate. Now they have to do something that hasn't been done before, at least not this year. It's a possibility. Let's be real. It's a possibility. Is it likely? Probably not, but you got to hang in there until it's all done.
Well, and yes, you have to hang in there until it's all done. You have to watch for the end of the season. I am still rooting for, and I'm glad we're seeing this from Julio, improvement overall from some of your most important pieces. Like Cal having, 31, hitting his 31st home run of the season, that's a win for the season overall. Julio continuing to improve would be, the season isn't one, but you need that. Imagine how much worse you'd feel if Julio was continuing to look awful.
Yeah.
Or if any of these guys were injured and you knew that they'd miss additional time. If one of your starters, knock on wood, pray this doesn't happen, got injured and you know that would go into next season. Just get out with some improvement and some way to look ahead and some kind of silver lining, and then make some really important additions in the offseason, because you cannot, it would be a baseball sin to enter next season without making fundamental improvements offensively.
It feels like youth sports when you play early morning soccer, when you're coaching 10-year-old kids and you get beat by a team and you go, guys, we've improved so much this season. Look at the way that you finished. It's a feeling that I've had before coaching my son's team, and a feeling I have with the Mariners that is unfortunate. But yes, you are seeing some improvement in some areas. We'll see if they can win 6 and what they do in the offseason.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3. Bump, you were on the call for this one for the CW. The Cougs surviving a Friday night scare from San Jose State, winning in overtime to remain undefeated at 4-0. What's the real headline?
Horrible news for Dogs. We're running out of examples to say they couged it, you guys. You got the Apple Cup win over us. You got this great win in double overtime. The Cougs are actually pulling this out.
You know what I hate? I hate that phrase because people don't even use it properly.
They don't.
It's like any loss is that phrase.
No, it's about having a huge lead and then kicking yourself.
Use it properly. And you know what? The reason why I'm seeing it so much now is because you're right. We won the Apple Cup. and we're the more exciting team. Like, it really is. Washington State is more fun to watch than UW right now, and people hate it. So just mow your own lawn, focus on you.
Yeah.
We got a tough game this week with Fresno State, and we'll see what happens. But just use the term correctly. I'm not even mad at you use it. I get it. Rivalry, talk your stuff.
Yeah.
But just use it properly.
I'm going to upset, like really bother some Coug fans with what I'm about to say.
Oh, man.
253 says, can we talk about the Cougs getting snubbed from the top 25?
Crazy.
Now, listen, sure. However, Boise State, yes, at 2-1, not undefeated, but Boise State, the lone Mountain West team represented, just snuck in at 25. It's the first time they're on this poll since 2020. They have a Heisman favorite on their team with Ashton Johnson.
I don't care.
I do not think Washington State is going to beat Boise State in their upcoming matchup.
We have to play good.
So if you're looking at a team when you say, wow, we're going to have to be our very best to beat that team, and that team is 25, you think you should be ahead of them in the poll?
Yeah, put up 70 against Portland State. You didn't do that. You played Portland State. You also played Georgia Southern. We have a stronger resume than them right now. Like, we should be in the top 25. I think it's going to take a heck of a game for us to beat them.
586 yards.
The run
Ashton
game
Johnson
is ridiculous. Are we just going to give it to them because of personnel or because of their resume?
No, because when you look at Boise State, when you look at it, personnel matters, though. I mean,
your resume matters.
Your resume matters, but personnel also matters. Like, why do you think Georgia's on here?
Hey, preseason rankings. Because you don't know what these kids are going to do. They're saying, oh, they recruited well. Can you coach them up? You got the best running back in the country. You beat Portland State 56-14. We smashed those dudes. You played Georgia Southern. Who? Georgia Southern? We beat a Big 10 team, a Big 12 team. Come on now. We should at least be 25. I think Boise State is probably a better team.
That's what I'm saying, though.
But you have to go off of your resume. What have you done this year?
Okay, I'll say this. If Washington State beats Boise State, knock Boise State out, they will be 2-2 for sure. And the Cougs, if they are not in, that's blatant disrespect.
For sure be in it.
Exactly.
They can, I mean,
that's all I'm saying. I'm saying I completely understand right now, and I look at Boise State as being a better team. And so if they're 25 and you're not better than them, why would you be ranked ahead of them?
Because our resume is better. Look at who we played, who we beat.
Yes.
And then let us square up.
The argument isn't wrong.
Keep both of us out then if that's the case. Put somebody else in.
Seattle's defense looks legitimately improved from last year. They've taken the biggest step, though, in this one area and still have one big question to answer. That's next.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner, and he is there to add to his sack total.
On the defense side of the ball, we're just trying to come out, be resilient, start fast, keep going, and finish the game. And I think we did that really, really well today.
Gino from the shotgun, hands up to Charbonnet, left side. He's in. Touchdown, Seahawks.
I thought we took a step forward today. It's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So
we are the home of the Seahawks.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. Create your dream engagement ring and browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts. From diamond studs, tennis bracelets, birthstone necklaces, and more. With our everyday competitive prices, an unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company knows how to work with your budget, not against it. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
John Legend here. How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date with a COVID shot this season?
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Ask your healthcare provider and book at VaxAssist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie,
When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Seattle Sports.
Got DK open. Touchdown! Seahawks! A 71-yarder to DK.
The home of the Seahawks.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Hey everybody, Bob Stelton here for Johnson Fitness and Wellness, where I got my home gym. Now the difference? Their expert staff. They ask great questions like, what are your fitness goals? What kind of space are you working with at home? And what's your budget? Johnson Fitness and Wellness experts get you the right machine for your home gym dream setup. And right now, in-store only while supplies last, mention this ad and our listeners get an indoor cycle for free with Select Force USA Home Gyms. Shop stores in Bellevue, Tacoma, Linwood, or visit johnsonfitness.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Bring your whole crew to the game with the Mariners Suite at T-Mobile Park. Whether you're planning a special birthday party for friends and family or a company outing for up to 400 coworkers, there's no better spot for an unforgettable experience. Enjoy the suite life with premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. Plus, season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
And the pitch up the middle, JP! Wow! From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seattle's defense looks legitimately improved. Bump, let's start there. Now, I pointed to a couple different things in our open. Obviously, you're looking at pressures being up and all kinds of different stats, so I'm curious as to what stands out to you in particular. To me, it was on Geno Smith's interception. He tries to avoid getting sacked in the end zone for a safety and instead almost gives up what could have been 7, obviously. The Dolphins take over at Seattle's 8-yard line. They don't get in. Instead, they have to settle with after an attempt from the 4 that fails, they go for a 23-yard field goal. I was thinking to myself in that moment, there's no doubt in my mind that previous iterations of this Seahawks defense would give up a score there. No doubt in my mind. From the 4, like think of this run defense at its worst. If you saw an offense, doesn't matter if they don't have their starter, if you saw an offense take over at the 4, would any part of you doubt that they could run it in?
No, most NFL teams, all NFL teams, if you get the ball inside the 5 in that situation, I'm already chalking up 7 points saying, all right, you got to respond. And that's not what happened. One, I want to say Geno's here's the thing about that interception right there. Geno was getting hit. He's trying to avoid a sack. Obviously, they get the 2 points and they get the football. So I think Geno's thinking, all right, let's not do this again. We saw that week 1. And I guarantee you Zach Charbonnet is saying to himself, I should catch that football. Wasn't an easy ball to catch, but Charbonnet coming out of college, that was one of his deals. I believe he had like 30-plus receptions out the backfield for UCLA. That's what he does. Geno, I'm not mad at that decision, but I'm more impressed by that defense, man, because you get in that situation, and as a defense, as a defender, you're out there, and you even think the chances of them scoring here are extremely high. So when you hold them to 3, and that's the only 3 that they got all day, you got to pat yourself on the back. And it all starts with that interior defensive line. Those big boys were getting busy down there on the goal line, also later in the game, which I'll highlight in 4 down territory. It starts with the bigs. That's why when you see Williams go down, you see Murphy go down, you're thinking, goodness gracious, guys got to step up. And they have some bodies over there that are capable of doing it, and hopefully with a week worth of practice, they're able to do so. But no, that was a defining moment for that defense. I don't care if you don't have Tua. I don't care if you're on your 3rd string running back. It just gets physical down there. You are going to try to run the football, fall forward 2 or 3 times, maybe run some layered concepts and get somebody open. It's tough down there. So that was a big step for that defense.
Okay, so goal line stops, check. We have seen genuine improvement there, particularly when teams have a chance to just run it in and can't. Where else do you see genuine improvements with the defense? And we'll get to the question mark we have.
Improvement. Here's the thing about this defense, man, is that they've pretty much shown almost everything so far. We've seen a goal line stop. We have seen them force 3 and outs. They did not turn the football over. There was a strip sack actually this game. I think they got 1 takeaway. We've seen them be one of the better teams against the pass. What I think an improvement was just the depth, and that was created out of necessity with Jerome Baker going down, with Williams and Murphy going down. You saw some guys step in and make some plays. Drake Thomas had the biggest hit of the game. They were trying to run a screen to the running back. He goes in there, blows that thing up, and gets everyone excited. So I like the improvement of the 2s and the 3s, and it's happening because 1s are getting banged up, and these guys are asked to go out there. I saw Patrick O'Connell on special teams. Like, guys got elevated. He's on offense. McClendon Curtis got elevated. But when you see these guys from practice squad get elevated, and then they're making plays, that lets me know that throughout the week, even though they're not going to be relied upon, they're only going to get. I was a practice squad bubble type of guy. When you get your reps with the first team, second team, you're only going to get like, out of 25 team plays in that one period, you'll get 3 or 4. In the next team period, out of 15 in that period, you might get 2 or 3. So that tells me that when they're not in, they're taking these mental reps and they're making sure they understand the game plan.
I think also when I'm looking at opponent 3rd down percentage, I'm seeing some genuine improvements from 2023. Seattle opponent 3rd down, 26%. That's awful. Last year, they were allowing 46%, which was one of the best. So I mentioned as part of my tease, hey, one area where we're seeing the biggest step, I'm going to say opponent 3rd down. So now let's get to our question. I was listening to the Ringer NFL podcast, NFL show podcast. They were recapping week 3, and Steven Ruiz said this, Bump, I wanted to throw it your way. He said he was really impressed with Geno, really impressed with everything from Seattle, and it was really overall a positive takeaway from their game against Miami. But he said, we haven't really seen Seattle go against a great team so far. I can't wait to see Seattle go against a good team to see how they measure up, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where I think they need to add some pieces on the front 7 to get this Mike McDonald defense up and running like it was in Baltimore. Now, Bump, I've gone through 3 weeks of the season thinking, God, my biggest questions have been with the offensive line. My biggest questions have been how long they could go without Ken Walker. My biggest questions have been, on offense, and I've been pretty impressed so far with the defense. Here's this national analyst and reporter who I really respect saying, I still have a big question about the front 7 and whether they need to add some pieces to really take advantage of it. Do you see the holes, and have you seen that through 3 weeks that Steven Ruiz does?
I think it's more about the opponents rather than who the Seahawks are. I think he's looking at the opponents and saying, well, those guys aren't very good when it comes to the box and running the football. I'm looking at the Seahawks, and they did okay against these guys. But if they were to go up against the Baltimore, if they were to go up against the 49ers, teams who are exceptional running the football, I don't think there's enough there. So there's a lot of projecting going on in this situation. I think that you can always get better in the box. Right now, the Hawks are allowing 116 yards per game on the ground. They're outside the top 10 when it comes to the best in the league. They're somewhere around the middle. Of course, you got to improve when it comes to that, because when you look at the teams who are good at running the football, you haven't faced one yet. And you're going to see one this Monday, and the Detroit Lions were averaging 163 yards per game on the ground. So it's a little bit of both. You're looking at their opponent and saying they're not very good in that category. You're looking at the Seahawks and saying, well, they're okay, but I think they need a few more names that are more explosive and violent in that box, and you're interested. So I think you're going to find out a lot. We are going to find out a lot on Monday when you play the Detroit Lions, because they do everything well. I mean, they are 6th in the league when it comes to passing. They are 5th in the league when it comes to running. They're
dynamic.
Yeah, they got tight ends. They got running backs. They got 2 running backs. One went for 100 in Montgomery, and then Gibbs went for like 80-something. You got receivers over there. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got a tight end, Sam Laporta. So I think it's all been building up to this week, to this Monday. We didn't know what the situation was going to be in Miami. I think it's a blessing and a curse that Tua was out. It's a blessing because now you go against a 2-3 quarterback and you should handle that. It's a curse because you had a real opportunity to see what you're made of if Tua was in there and that offense was firing. So now you got to wait one more week, but I ain't complaining because you're 3-0.
So if defensive coordinator Adam Dirty came to you and he said, bro, Mike, don't send me away. And he said, tell me where we're weak. Like, we've been watching it, with, I'm sure that they watch it with a very critical lens. But, tell me what you're seeing. Where, we're going against this Lions team. Yeah. What's the warning you want to give me about this defense? Seattle's defense.
Gap integrity, violence in the middle when it comes to D linemen and linebackers. It's all about this box. I'm so confident in the back end with this team.
The league's remaining 3-0 teams, you got 4 of them with one additional team a chance to go 3-0 with Monday Night Football. How much can you actually read into being undefeated through 3 weeks in an NFL season? That's next.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about, and there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find 3 wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking. This next game's going to be really physical coming up. That's what they're hanging their hat on in Detroit, so the challenge is to step it up a notch.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Key here is employee satisfaction. There is no expectation for customer satisfaction if the people that work with us don't feel taken care of and supported and loved. I'm proud of the Lee Johnson Auto family. I'm proud of our stores. And I need everybody to share in that mindset, because it makes a better experience for the customer. It also makes it a better place to work. Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me. Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work? If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both. I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
This is Seattle Sports.
Down to the one, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks! Zach Charbonnet!
The home of the Seahawks.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
You've probably noticed the temperature starting to fluctuate, and that gets even more pronounced at night. Is your insulation ready for the upcoming cold season? Let me guess, you haven't checked. You're like me, you don't want to go into your attic or your crawl space. Well, that's why Crawl Pros goes where you don't want to. It's Mike Salk here. They came out to my house for a free inspection and found my insulation wasn't up to snuff. So they showed me pictures of the problem, explained it, and then they got it all fixed. Now, Crawl Pros has partnered with Puget Sound Energy to provide special rebates on insulation work. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Don't wait for the temperatures to drop. Take advantage of these enormous rebates today. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Again, if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What can you actually read into being undefeated through 3 weeks of an NFL season? Now, you can't pull the baseball. Oh, wait a minute. It's only a couple games in. I mean, we're almost to a quarter point of the season. After next week and heading into week 5, we'll be at the quarter point of a 17-game season. At the same time, there are some interesting names.
Is that proper math?
No. I mean, it's heading into week 5, you know?
We had to throw some decimals in there or something.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Halfway through the week. We're at the quarter point.
I'm sorry. My bad,
Stop.
Stacey.
So what if, did I have to copy all my math homework from my friend Amy? Yes. Yes, I did. We all did. We all copied from Amy.
For sure.
But there are some interesting names here. Now, if I told you that the Chiefs are 3-0, that the Bills are 2-0, and they play the Jags tonight with a chance to improve to 3-0, you'd be like, I could have told you that. If you were to ask me to guess which teams are going to be 3-0, I'd say the ones with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. But let's take a deeper dive. Look at the 4 teams right now. I'm excluding the Bills from this conversation, though they may join it. The 4 teams right now that are 3-0. And then what these wins have actually looked like, and then we'll talk about whether we can actually read into it. I'm going to start with an unexpected name. There are a couple unexpected names. The Steelers. The Steelers are 3-0 right now, and here's the thing about the Steelers. Of all these teams, Chiefs, Vikings, Seahawks being the other 3-0 teams, the Steelers have the most wins by more than one score. In fact, all 3 of their wins have been by at least a touchdown.
Look at those Steelers go. And it's really about their defense, honestly.
It is.
You allow 10 points against the Falcons, you beat them 18-10. You allow 6 points to the Broncos, you beat them 13-6. You allow 10 to the Chargers, and they won that game late. It was close for a long time, and they kind of sealed the deal late. That's impressive. And you're looking at the Falcons, who barely lost to the Chiefs last night. I know it's hard to do that, right, to compare. Well, they barely lost to them, so that means this and that. It's hard to do that. But the Falcons have weapons on offense, and you were able to get that done. I don't think you were surprised with the Broncos game because of Bo Nix and him being a rookie. But the Chargers, I think, is probably the most impressive to me because now you have 2 weeks of film on the Pittsburgh Steelers and Justin Fields and how they're going to use them and how you're going to attack them.
Yeah.
You have Harbaugh, who's rejuvenated that organization over there. When you're able to beat them by 10 points, that's been the most impressive so far. There's something going on with the Steelers, and I think it's just the best thing you can do as a player is to understand who you are. The best thing you can do as a coach, a coordinator, is to understand who your team is and just set them up for success. That's what they've been doing. It's not like Justin Fields is out there tearing it up. I mean, he is completing 73% of his passes.
This was his best game.
Yeah, for sure. He's got 2 touchdowns, 1 interception when it comes to throwing the rock. He has rushed for a touchdown and 90 yards. Complete team wins. That's how they're getting it done.
And what you cannot say about the Steelers wins is what people say about the Seahawks and just write off those teams. Yes, one of the Steelers wins are against the Broncos, who have been a horrible offense to start the season. They also played the Falcons, who beat the Eagles, and the Chargers, who have obviously Justin Herbert and were prior one of the 2-0 teams.
Yeah, they and then look at who the Chargers beat. Right, you beat the Raiders a week ago. It's Minshew madness again.
Yep.
What's going on, man? Raiders beat Baltimore, and then they took an L to the worst team in football. All right, and then the Chargers beat the worst team in football. That's why every week is so dang crazy in the NFL. Was it just Andy Dalton? Was Andy Dalton the missing component when it comes to the Panthers? We'll find out. Who do they play next week? Let me see. Who do the Panthers play next week? The Panthers play the Bengals. I mean, come
Battle
on,
of the
man.
Cats.
This is crazy.
Let's go to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 3-0. They actually have the narrowest margin of victory of all of these teams. Again, this is not to undersell the Chiefs, a quarterback whom I'd love to have. And I'd love to have on this defense Chris Jones. I'd love to have on this offense, Travis Kelce, or certainly a lot of these offensive linemen. They are a very good team. All one-score games, none by more than a touchdown, having faced the Ravens, Bengals, and Falcons. And look, that Ravens game could have gone a different direction. That Falcons game could have gone a different direction. The Bengals and Falcons games could have gone different directions. This is a team that has won because they are a champion who's been there before and they know how to pull these games out. No, they don't have the refs in their back pocket.
Low key.
No,
low key.
They do get you get favorable calls when you have a top quarterback.
Yeah.
You do. They've also just managed to outlast and look to get to this point, to get to the point where you beat the Ravens by a touchdown because their tight end had his toe out. You have to have already been leading. Facts. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to hang in there. What stands out to you about the Chiefs so far?
Here's the thing about the Chiefs is that they have pedigree. They have that. We can play horribly for 3 quarters, just keep it close, and we'll do enough to win a ball game. They're not going out and blowing teams out. Last year, they had to deal with the drops. This year, they have to deal with Pat Mahomes not looking like the guy he's been over the past 6-7 years in the league. But they know all they need is an opportunity. They're one of the few, if not the only team in the league that you can say, all right, just be down a score in the 4th quarter and have the ball in your hands and you'll be able to get it done. The Falcons, horrible call at the end of the game. 4th and inches, you're trying to run the ball outside, get downhill, run the tush push with Cousins. I tweeted last night, put Bijan Robinson under center, do something. Like you made that play call too complicated. And then as you mentioned, Stacey, Lamar Jackson not being able to be clutch late, they've been able to win that game. But I tease about the referees, but I think it's more about the jersey, the coach, the quarterback. Teams know. There's a different feeling when you hop on the field with the Kansas City Chiefs than when you hop on the field with the Carolina Panthers and the Raiders or teams like that. Because of the guys that have on their team, their personnel, the pedigree, and their history, you respect them a bit different, and you get in these situations and you might be a little tighter because you know we need this because Pat Mahomes is going to drive down the field and win. If you're playing against the Raiders, go Cougs, and you got Gardner Minshew over there, you're not as stressed out because he hasn't shown for 7 straight seasons that he's going to get this team in contention every single year. So I tease about the rest, but it's more about Pat Mahomes, his ability, his reputation, and Andy Reid.
Next team, Bump, get ready for a victory lap. I hope you stretched. The Vikings, 3-0. They've done this despite, and look, had Sam Darnold not been there, we'd still be talking about, they have a rookie quarterback with J.J. McCarthy. What can they do here? So it's not like they entered the season with a sure thing at quarterback that we'd have to watch out for. But doubts certainly surfaced even more when we all knew that Sam Darnold would be the starter. They've beaten the Giants, the 49ers, and Texans. They have 2 wins by more than 2 touchdowns.
Crazy. That first win against the Giants, you're like, all right, yeah, cool. Sam Darnold.
Sure.
Good job. The Niners, you're like, well, okay, I see you a little bit. No Chris McCaffrey, but you know, I see you. The Texans one was impressive. It's like
34-7 over the Texans.
These dudes are healthy. You have the rookie of the year who's on that team from last year. You have Diggs. You have Collins. You have Dell. That defense is good over there with Houston. I mean, Sam Darnold, 17 of 28, 181 and 4 touchdowns. He didn't have to do much but toss touchdowns. That run game, 118 on the ground. This is the more impressive win. And I'm happy for Sam Darnold because, like I said, I've always felt that if you just put him in a good situation, he has the talent, but individually, but you need guys around him, and that's exactly what's been going down. Justin Jefferson was healthy this week. I was worried about him. He had 6 for 81. This has been a pleasant surprise, man. And I think of all the teams that are 3-0, they're probably the most legit team.
I will say this. We started with the question of how much can you read into being undefeated in week 3. If you were to place money on any of these 4 teams, Steelers, Chiefs, Vikings, Seahawks, to get to a Super Bowl, you go with the Chiefs because they've done it before and because they have Patrick Mahomes, and it's just how things seem to work, right? However, if I were to say, well, what kind of takeaway can you actually make? For me, it would be you aren't guaranteed to be a playoff team or a Super Bowl team being 3-0, but I think you can safely say that all of these unexpected teams, Steelers, Vikings, Seahawks, are just better than people thought they'd be.
Yeah. Sam Darnold's better than what you thought. Geno's better than what people thought collectively, and that defense is better. Who's a Kansas City Chiefs, we all knew this was going to go down.
Yeah.
And then the Pittsburgh Steelers have been able to play the game that they need to play to win ball games and not force Justin Fields to have to carry the team because he's clearly not ready to do that.
Yeah.
Team wins, man. It's these teams that are 3-0 are unexpected, but that's why you have offense, defense, and special teams.
All right, well, let's get back to the only team that most of us actually care to talk about this morning. It's always interesting to see what's happening around the league, but we got to get back to Seattle for plays of the game in the Seahawks 24-3 win over Miami. That's coming up next.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner, and he is there to add to his sack total.
On defense side of the ball, we just trying to come out, be resilient, start fast, keep going, and finish the game. And I think we did that really, really well today.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side, he's in, touchdown, Seahawks.
I thought we took a step forward today. It's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So
we are the home of the Seahawks.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and you may see your favorite football and baseball teams wearing light blue towels, armbands, or ribbons. It's all in an effort to increase awareness of the second most common cancer and the number 2 cause of cancer death for males. Prostate cancer, when detected early, is curable. In Seattle, Swedish CyberKnife offers a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer. When other radiation treatments may last 6 to 9 weeks, Swedish CyberKnife treatment is typically 5 days, and each session lasts less than an hour. The system delivers radiation with extreme accuracy, sparing healthy tissue. The vast majority of CyberKnife patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
This Thursday's Spotlight at Waterfront Park is a taste of soul healing. Enjoy performances of traditional dance, music, storytelling, and body healing through massage and acupuncture. Discover the ancient wisdom from West Africa, Korea, ancient Kemet, Bangladesh, and Tlingit on Pier 62. This free event is open to all ages September 26th, 6 to 8 p.m. Seattle's new waterfront is being built for you, so come enjoy it. Full schedule of events at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brought to you by Friends of Waterfront Park.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LFO1, LFO2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Do you wrestle with your CPAP machine every night? Tired of lugging it through the airport and on vacation? Hi, I'm Dr. Nick Kugler with the Washington Center for Sleep. We specialize in treating sleep apnea with CPAP alternatives. My patients have ditched the CPAP and get restful, healthy sleep every night. If you're tired of wearing a mask to bed, let us help you. Visit us in Seattle, Bellevue, or at wasleep.com. That's wasleep.com. Sleep better, feel better. That's the Washington Center for Sleep way.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson set, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down, Derek Hall, and he is there to add to his sack total.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Rams beat the 49ers. The Lions beat the Cardinals on Sunday. That means the Seahawks are 3-0, while the rest of the NFC West is 1-2. You hate to see it. The Mariners lost a heartbreaker yesterday afternoon to the Rangers, falling 6-5, thanks to a late comeback. They'll open a series against the Astros tonight. Bryce Miller on the mound.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Floor Coverings International.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. The Seahawks beat the Miami Dolphins 24-3 to improve to 3-0 on the season, but how'd they actually get there? What went right? What went wrong? What can we learn? Let's get to plays of the game. X's and O's time here. We're going to start in the first quarter. Our first highlight. Yeah, there was some good stuff to happen before this one, including an 18-yard pass to Tyler Lockett, a couple other things, but let's be real. The moment you went, oh my God, was this.
Second down and 7. Gino takes his shotgun snap, scrambles out of trouble, looks, throws downfield, back shoulder throw. It's caught. It's caught by DK Metcalf inside the 5-yard line. You just couldn't throw it anywhere else. And DK with the late hands reaches back, makes the catch for 22 yards. It's first and goal at the 4.
Much faster start offensively for Seattle. This was a 22-yard pass to Metcalf on 2nd and 7, on their second drive. Bump, what'd you see?
Yeah, this was the first time this year DK went up with two hands facing the football and grabbed it out the air. Usually he's behind the defender, catching it over the shoulder, going across the middle, hitting him in the chest. This was something that Paul Moyer and I wanted to see from him. You got to make these type of plays, man. And that was kind of the thing that it didn't get the offense going, but it set some type of tone. And that was a grown man snatching out the air, big time kind of catch.
And it takes you all the way into the red zone where Charbonnet punches it in from 4.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks! A 4-yard run, and as Jen said, they're doing everything right on the left side of the offensive line. Right over his left tackle goes Charbonnet. He's in for 6. The Seahawks are looking at a 9-0 start.
Now that ends up being 10-0, obviously. Point after is good. So the Seahawks at this point get this 4-yard touchdown run. How did they make it work? How did they score? What worked on this play?
It's just getting the push, man. You get downhill. Zach Charbonnet, this is where he shines, man, in these short yardage situations. He can break the big runs, but he's low to the ground. He's got these thick thighs that he can run through, and it's big ups to the offensive line, man, getting bodies on bodies, allowing him to go up the A-gap, fall forward, touchdown.
We haven't been talking about his name a ton, but Dre Jones gets involved early. Miami takes over, and he sacks Thompson to effectively end this drive.
Thompson being chased, fumbles the football on the ground. They're fighting for it down at the 40-yard line of the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins fell back on it on a 3rd down and 5. It was Armstead, the big tackle, Teron Armstead, who fell on the football, but Skylar Thompson was chased from the get-go, a loss of 14.
Now, I love watching a suffocating defense, and this defense hasn't felt like that for a long time, but the fact that on 2nd and 1 in the play prior to this, Knight gets involved, the rookie Tyrese Knight, and takes Achane down for a loss of 4. So it's 3rd and 5, actually, on this sack and fumble. Miami recovers, but back-to-back great defensive plays. What did you see from Jones?
Jones is using his speed and his strength to get into the backfield, man, and just being relentless. When you get back there, you got to have an extra gear and not necessarily have to be the fastest, but just use your leverage, get a nice little lean. 45-degree angles, the greatest angle in sports. That's what I saw, and now just swiping at the football.
Not every play of the game is going to be a good play. This is going to be one of our lowlights. Bump, your job to tell me what you think Gino was thinking here.
Empty backfield. Gino at the goal line. 4-man rush. Gino gets hit. Gino gets rid of the football. It's tipped. It's intercepted. Down at the 5-yard line. Everything that could go wrong there just happened. Cater Cohor gets the tip. The interception deep in Seattle territory as the floodgates opened on the rush. Gino had nowhere to go. He gets hit, tries to throw it away. The ball is tipped.
All right, what's he thinking? What did he do? What happened? How did it happen?
So he's in the end zone. The Hawks are backed up, and there's a chip block by Zach Charbonnet that kind of knocks the pass rush off a little bit. The tackle who was there was in good position to kind of make the block, but the chip block, which is designed to help, kind of hurts a little bit, allows him to get into the backfield. And Gino's thinking right here, well, I don't want to take the sack, because if I take the sack, then they get the 2 points and the football. Who knows what they're going to do? Let me get rid of it. I'm not mad at the decision. I think the throw was a little high. Zach Charbonnet tips it up. I think he could have came down with his football. I know Charbonnet feels the same way, but sometimes defenses make plays. So you got to be efficient down here. It's hard to just place the blame on Geno or Charbonnet because I understand what was going on. I just tip my cap to the Dolphins for being at the right place at the right time.
This is what's really cool about DK Metcalf's career. 4 of his longest touchdowns have been thrown by Geno Smith, and this cracks in the top 4 at number 3 now, 71 yards.
Geno out of the shotgun, McIntosh in the game, and now he swings out to the left side. Geno steps up in the pocket, looks, holds, throws deep, got DK open, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, runs away from Miami, touchdown, Seahawks! A 71-yarder to DK. Geno waited, great route, and then DK just popped into the secondary open. Geno laid it up there, and the secondary never had a chance to catch DK.
Look, on a one-play drive that lasts all of 5 seconds, it's easy to say, oh, that's just luck. But what did DK do here?
One, he ran a great route, and you caught the defense in what I think is a 2 match. So it's cover 2, and then if nothing is in your area, it turns into a cover 1. They're in a 2-by-2 formation. Inside of DK, the receiver runs kind of like a short dig. It looks like an option. He breaks inside, which grabs the attention of that safety over there. So you got 2 receivers on the right side going inside. So when Geno snaps it in, that corner's thinking, okay, well, I have safety help. Safety has his eyes on the route inside of DK Metcalf. So once he hits his third step on the slant, boom, he breaks it up. The safety's flat-footed. It's a wrap as soon as Geno puts his foot in the ground. The rest is Geno dropping a dime.
Okay, on Seattle's next drive, they take over. They're moving down the field. It looks pretty solid, only they miss a field goal. Myers, he's wide left, so then Miami takes over. Miami, for the first time in a while, they're moving. They got an 8-run down the middle. HN runs for 13 down the middle. Great blocking on that one. They're facing 1st and 10. And Derek called us this.
HN in motion out to the left side. Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner from the Seattle left side of the defense, and he is there to add to his sack total. Had a half a week ago, a 9-yard loss on the sack. Great play by Hall as he hustles around that corner.
Hall's first career start, his first time being introduced onto the field with the rest of the starting defense. He gets a sack.
What a day for this young man. The twitchiness, the strength, the flexibility. We saw all of it yesterday with Derek Hall. Are we going to do his other sack?
We are.
Anyway?
You want me to get to it? Tell me what you saw with this one.
Yeah, do what you do.
Thompson in a pistol formation. Wants the ball. Gets the snap. Play fake. Stops. Looks. Sets up. Looking to throw. Now he's being chased. Going to get hit. Going to go down. Ball rolls out of bounds. Hall hits him from behind. Thompson never saw him. Thompson grabbed his arm as he was getting up off the ground. That one hurt, and we have reached the end of the half.
I'm going to guess that part of why Thompson ended up leaving the game after a quarterback hit by Dre Jones was probably something more to do with these sacks and one by Tyrell Dodson.
You start to beat somebody up, man.
Yeah.
It starts to hurt, and this one was great. So we do the halftime show, and I get into the booth with Raves and Wyman and watch the last 2 or 3 minutes, and we're all in that booth and yelling, oh, he's about to get him. He's about to get him. Boom. We had no idea that Derek Hall was in pursuit, man. Those are the violent type of plays that you need. Derek Hall, man, best game of his career. Happy for this young man. Let's stack another one.
I will say we're about to enter the third quarter with some of our plays. To end the first half, obviously, there was that play, the untimed down, Skylar Thompson. It was quiet. It's quiet in the press box because it's a working media room, so you can't really hear the crowd. Like, it's pretty silent. And you just hear Tim Booth, who covers the Seahawks for the AP, in the front row going, "You will die. Look out, you will die." And he nearly did. That was a hard hit there for Thompson. All right, let's get to Geno's second mistake of the day. Now, Seiler for the Dolphins, all over the field. He was working that offensive line. Tell me what you saw here.
So Geno from the shotgun. Charbonnet stays in the backfield. Slot to the far side. 4-man rush. Geno steps up. Ball is tipped up in the air, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the Dolphins at midfield. It gets slapped straight up, and Sealer picks it. So a succession of just awful plays for the Seahawks gives the Dolphins hope near midfield.
Okay, so Geno picked off by Seiler. Dolphins don't end up doing anything with this. We're going to talk about that a bit more with what caught my eye in that goal line stop. But for now, they take over. That was a 3rd and 22, so it's already 3rd and long for Geno. He's in a tough spot. They know he's going to pass. Is this on Geno? Is it on the line? Is it a bad decision? Is it luck?
No, it was a little bit of everything. I don't think it was on Geno. Calais Campbell dominates the right side, gets his hand up, pops it up, and his teammate, captain of the defense, is right there. Sometimes you get a gift. Just be in the right place and you get a gift, and that's exactly what happened right there. 3rd and 20. You're not expecting to pick this up. You're just trying to gain some yards there. I think it was better play by the defense than Geno making a mistake.
Someone say, if you said 8 run slowly enough, you'll convince yourself that's right. I'm reading from my notes. They're shorthand. You don't have time to write like 8-yard run down the middle to the right. You just go 8 run Charbonnet or 8 run 26. It's just deal with it, okay? Speaking of Charbonnet, here's a 13-yarder.
It's down in 10. Charbonnet in the backfield, and he gets a straight ahead handoff. He's got a little bit of running room. He puts his head and shoulders down, fights his way for a first down inside the 25. You knew that if you could just keep up the pressure on the Miami defense, at some point those big guys are going to get tired. And a 13-yard gain that time by Charbonnet.
I started doing shorthand Sharb, and this is the Sharb drive, some of the plays that we're going to get to. So this one was a 13-yard run on 1st and 10. It's about to be 3 consecutive first downs for Seattle. You've talked about Ken Walker, the type of back he is. What type of back is Charbonnet, and was that exemplified here?
Charbonnet's more of a bruiser. I think Ken Walker's a bruiser, but he's also a speedster, and he also has wiggle. I think Charbonnet's first punch is always to try to move you a little bit and then go through you. And once you start wearing a team down, that style of run is extremely effective. And I think that's what we saw later on in the game, especially on this drive.
Let's end with a touchdown. 10 yards, Charbonnet.
2nd down and 7, and he stays in the game to Charbonnet, and he gets the handoff, and he looks for running room, and he pops it outside, near side, down to the 1. He's in! Touchdown! Seahawks! Zach Charbonnet scores from 13 out, make it 10 out, and a couple of players had to be pulled apart down on the field, but the big play made by Charbonnet hits it up inside, bounces it outside to the right, and outruns him to the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the game makes it 23-3.
Yeah, that was the dagger final score for Seattle there and for the game. I have a question about the O-line that you're answering in 4-down territory. So I have a question about the run game I'll get to. Did you have anything about this particular play that really stood out before I get to it?
Yeah, I mentioned that Zach Charbonnet is more of a bruiser. Big Ray and I did the post-game solo yesterday, and we said he hit the stanky leg on this one. This is the one where he put his foot in the ground, makes a move, and pops outside. So his main punch is to move you and go through you, but he has the ability to have a little wiggle too, man. So just showing some versatility, and good job, Zach Charbonnet, holding it down, 2 touchdowns while Ken Walker's getting healthy.
Okay, so here's my final question. The first down in 4-down territory is going to be about the offensive line in the pass game. Let's talk about the run game, because when you look at last week, one of our big concerns was they couldn't get anything done on the ground. Like, thank goodness they had Jackson Smith and Jigba and DK Metcalf, and that Geno had one of his best career starts, because this team could not get anything going. That was not the case this week. This week, they had a career-high 91 yards for Zach Charbonnet. The first time in his career he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Is that Charbonnet? Is it Grubb being stubborn, or is it genuine improvement with the offensive line?
It's some improvement. Now, you're going to watch the game, if you rewatch it, and you're going to watch the offensive line struggle everywhere. Pass game at times, run game at times. That's just what we call football. No one's going to execute perfectly. But I think the runs that they did pop, they were on point. They got to their guys. They had proper leverage, and Zach Charbonnet was able to read it and see it. And then also Ryan Grubb not giving up on it, because he realizes he has to be able to run the football to open everything else up. And then once the run game gets going, you just stick with it until they can prove that they can stop you. You don't switch anything up. Ryan Grubb has done a great job calling this the last 3 games. The offensive line has their ups and downs, but their ups are excellent. And Zach Charbonnet is getting more comfortable, man. It's a good feeling when you know you're going to get 20 to 25 carries a game. You're not stressed out or trying to press and break every run for a big one. Eventually, they'll pop if you do what you're supposed to do.
All right, X's and O's talk. Let's get to 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, right back to this offensive line. They had their struggles on Sunday still, but what's something they do that does really help the pass game, especially in the middle of the field?
Well, they do it because they're told to do it, because the play requires them to do it, but they do a good job at it, and that is showing run when you're throwing the football. It is so hard to play linebacker in this league because you're supposed to read your keys. And some of your keys are, okay, if the tight end down blocks, it is a run, get your eyes in the backfield. If the guard pulls, okay, it's a run, get your eyes in the backfield. If you see a counter look, a guard and a tackle pulling, get your eyes in the backfield, it is a run. They're showing all of that and sliding protection and just throwing the football off of it. So you'll see a power look with your guard pulling and kicking out the end with the line sliding to the right. Everything in your football mind says this is a run when they're really just pass proing and play action. They have no intention to run the football at all. So what Grubb is doing is, and other teams do it in the league too, but I've seen it more with Seattle this year than I've seen in the past 4 or 5 years, is that they are showing you run and it's opening up the middle of the field because those linebackers have to read their cues and say, okay, the offensive line is showing me run. I have to step down to respect it, because if I don't, they're going to come back to this later and show me the same thing and actually hand the football off. It's so hard to play linebacker in this league right now, and especially against the Seahawks when they get their run game going, because you believe in those cues that, you believe on them more and more as the game goes along.
I hadn't noticed any of that, and it's so refreshing to hear, because one of the things that I knew that I would always be hearing from analysts, particularly analysts like you who had played, or like Ray or Paul, obviously with defensive experience, is that it would be like, I can tell exactly what they're going to do. That past offensive coordinators, either from a lack of experience or limited weaponry or whatever it was, that most of the time you could look at a play and be like, yeah, this is going to be a run. Or yeah, this is going to be a pass.
I love that weaponry.
Yeah.
I like the weaponry.
Thank you.
But you're right. It was too basic.
Yeah.
Grubb ain't basic.
Second down. There's nothing wrong with being basic. Like, if you like pumpkin spice latte, you like pumpkin spice lattes.
I feel you. If you like wearing white tees, you like wearing white tees. Basic.
You are who you are. Second down. What player needs to be recognized for the goal line stand the Hawks had in the fourth quarter?
Man, on fourth down, he wasn't really involved in it. He wasn't on the field. But the first 3 plays, man, Jonathan Hankins is getting after it. He played 37 plays. He had 3 tackles, 1 stuff. But he influenced it. He got to Skylar Thompson. He felt him. He's throwing the ball away. He's dipping and ripping, getting into the backfield, making plays. When Murphy and Williams went down, Murphy only played 12 snaps. Williams played 6 snaps. Because those guys went down, you relied on a veteran like Hankins, who's been in the league forever, it seems like, to make these plays. Man, watch the film. Watch that goal line stand. I believe he's number 97. Yes, 97 is getting in the backfield and just messing stuff up, man. He had a big game. He's going to need another one if those guys aren't ready to go.
Third down. What's something about Grubb's passing game that makes it difficult to defend?
He layers the heck out of stuff. Now, sometimes you go in your 2x2 formation, mirrored concepts, and say you have a hitch, 2 seams, and then the back chip blocks and sits in the middle. Real basic stuff, and that stuff works for sure. But most of the time, I'm going to say 60% of the time, he's got one guy crossing from left to right, one guy crossing from right to left, another guy sitting in the middle. He attacks every layer. And what he does when you attack the layer going horizontally across the field, you're forcing safeties to pass that route off to the safety, or the linebacker to pass it off to the linebacker. You're forcing communication, and a lot of time it's just feel. If a team does not have the trust that this linebacker knows, all right, I get here, I'm going to pass it off to that linebacker, big plays are going to happen. There's going to be gaps all over the field. So he layers the heck out of defenses and makes them have to communicate. So now you go man. All right, we're going to combat that with man. Go ahead and do that, because you have receivers like DK, fast as heck, JSN, who is smooth, who finds his zone, and a savvy like Fox, and Tyler Lockett, who's able to do it. It's just the layers that I really love. And he does split the field in half and do basic concepts, but the layers, man, it's tough to defend that when you can't protect. So imagine now you are running the layers. You're running the layers, and you're showing that counter look, play action, you're over the top. There's so much for this defense to have to do. The linebackers got to respect it. Respect the run. Then drop in the zone. They have to fill the layers going across the field. The safety's got to be on point. You have to be so fundamentally sound against this offense.
Okay, so maybe that's actually your answer to this question, but like, dumb question time. Why doesn't every offensive coordinator do all of that?
Philosophy,
like, is there a risk?
Style,
oh, okay.
Okay. I think
maybe not having certain weaponry.
Exactly. I think that works. But I also think that's it's all about where you come from. You know, you look at the Steelers. You know, their offense is going to look different. It's about philosophy, who you learn from, and what you believe in. There are other teams that do it, but we just haven't seen the Hawks do it like this.
Fourth down. Who got valuable snaps late in the game Sunday, and what needs to be better offensively?
I'm sure this has happened before, But the Hawks had the JV squad out there late in the game. Like, they have the game sewn up to where you're able to get young guys reps. Tyrese Knight, who started the game, 44 snaps against New England, 35 against Miami. Kobe Bryant, what up, Kobe? 20 snaps against Miami. Drake, 19 snaps. Pritchett, 7 snaps. Brown, 33 snaps. Bowser, 12 snaps. Gibson, you don't even know who that is. Gibson.
Yeah, Tyrell Bowser.
15 snaps. No, Gibson.
Gibson.
You know who that is. Exactly.
Yeah, I know Gibson. Yeah,
15
I do.
snaps. Wallace, 18
Thomas.
snaps. I'm just saying, at one point, all of these guys were on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
You had no Julian Love, no Jenkins, no Spoon, no Reek Woolen. That's beautiful. When you have a game put away and these guys can get reps, that's a great thing. The thing that needs to get better, though, these dang third downs, Stacey. 3rd and 15, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 22, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 22, 31, 3rd and 2. The average down and distance was 12.8 yards on third downs. You cannot get into that. And there are reasons for that. You got offensive linemen getting penalties. You got false starts. You have sacks. You have some negative plays that put you in these situations. They cannot continue to put themselves in 3rd and extra long. Too many times you had 3rd and over 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times you had over 3rd and 15 or 15 and over. That's wild. So you can't continue to do that.
Well, it limits what you can do. Like, I made a joke about, like, every offensive coordinator needs that classic 17-yard play in your back pocket. Because when you start seeing people go, why'd you run it here? Or why'd you have this here? Because you're so limited with what you can do. Basically, you're either trying to get into better position to punt or trying not to make a huge mistake. Like, if you're 3rd and 15, but you're at your own 35 or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't risk throwing it and having an errant throw. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like an exciting play that Zach Charbonnet on 3rd and 17 picks up 11. That would otherwise have been a great play. It's obviously not enough to get it done, but it's the safe play sometimes.
Yeah, you have to, at that point, you're backed up, 3rd and long, field position, gain a few yards, put it on the foot, and hope your defense saves you.
You are listening to Bump and Stacey on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. It's nice to hear a head coach be brutally honest, but this time it was after a win. We'll tell you who said what next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Yeah, ring the alarm. The Seahawks are 3-0. Another victory.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
What a start for this season. What a start for the career of Mike McDonald.
I mean, to hold Miami to 1 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down in the NFL. This is the NFL. To hold a team to 1 of 15.
And oh, by the way, the rest of the division is all 1 and 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with no credit financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget, not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Seattle Sports.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks!
The home of the Seahawks. Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Seahawks run defense was on a mission to play better against the run this week against the Dolphins after allowing 185 total rushing yards to the Patriots the previous week. They achieved that goal yesterday, allowing the Dolphins just 63 yards on the ground. Here's linebacker Tyrell Dodson on what made the difference.
The little details. Eyes, feet, hands. Not only just hands, like knowing where to place your hands, being very detailed about that stuff, and just guys getting to the rock. We were pretty, like Jay Love said last week, we were pretty sluggish, but we weren't sluggish today. Guys came ready to play. People were pissed off. I'm glad to see how we responded to that.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This hour is brought to you by Floor Coverings International.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It's The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. We've got some interesting honesty from a head coach and a shot at the Pac-2. Before we get to it, though, we're going to start with baseball. The Washington Nationals demoted 2024 All-Star shortstop C.J. Abrams to their spring training complex in Florida. Why? Well, that would be because the 23-year-old Abrams was apparently out until 8 a.m. My old self can't fathom. Out until 8 a.m. at a Chicago area casino. This was the night before they had a 1 p.m. first pitch against the Cubs.
I mean, we talked a long time yesterday and last night before we made any decisions. And I know that he wants to be here. He expressed that very much. He says, he's going to miss his teammates. But like I said, without getting into any details, this to me was the right thing to do.
I probably should have clarified. That was Nationals manager Davey Martinez before I played the sound, because otherwise you might have been thinking, oh, that's what a 23-year-old sounds like after he's been out until 8 a.m. the night before at a casino. But no, that was a very disappointed Martinez.
All right, so let me take you in the mind of a 23-year-old.
Okay.
In the body of a 23-year-old. He would have been fine. He would have woke up 3-4 hours of sleep, got to the ballpark, and been just fine. He's 23 years old. The rally that he has within his body is fine. Another thing, they pump oxygen to those casinos. He really feeling good. He's probably winning in the zone. He's got his boys with him. He's young and he's dumb, and his bounce back game is crazy. Okay? Now, the professional side, come on, son. Come on.
Yeah.
You know better than this. It's not like you are a football player. Football players can hide a bit more other than their physique because you have a face mask on. And unless you are like the star receiver, the star quarterback, the star running back, somebody who touches the football or is a leader on the team, you can kind of hide a little bit and do your thing. Not in baseball. People recognize you. My man has dreads. He's very recognizable. It's just dumb, okay? I'm not supporting what he's doing. I'm taking you in the mind of a 23-year-old and to where he's more than capable of rallying and bouncing back and then maybe sleeping later. But it's just dumb. And you have more awareness to yourself and realize that you are a public figure. People recognize you. Not everyone, but all it takes is one person to recognize you, and you are dumb. But as a 23-year-old, I've done some dumb things myself. Nothing like this, though, staying out the night before. We were in a hotel room.
8 a.m.
Yeah, that's
8
crazy.
8 a.m. And, of course, my 23-year-old self was already I'm going to be in bed at 10:30, and I'm going to have my notes for work, and I'm going to make sure that my outfit for the next day is folded and chosen. It's so funny. So Derek, the other day, weird timing, sent me a clip from, is it Shannon Sharp's, the Behind the Mask podcast? Is that Shannon, or what is he just talking about? Shannon?
No.
Oh, that's not Shannon's. Oh, Club Shay Shay. Okay. So it's the Behind the Mask podcast. Did you ever hear that story about Clinton Portis playing hungover?
Nah.
Okay. Clinton Portis says that he went out the night before, got messed up. He is so drunk, a little bit drunk, certainly hungover the next day, that he figures he's going to go into the head coach's office and say, I can't play. And Shannon Sharp intervenes and says, you absolutely will not be telling him that. So Shannon Sharp, this is Clinton Portis telling the story on BTM podcast. He says, you need to go run laps. You need to
sweat it out.
He said, go between ice baths and hot. That's what I would suggest you do. Under no circumstances will you go to this head coach and tell him that you are too hungover to play. Absolutely not.
Oh, he's going to keep it real and say I'm too hungover?
He was going to go and he was going to keep it real and say, hey, coach, I'm hungover and I can't play today.
I was going to say sick or something.
Exactly. But nope. So it's Sunday morning. He's like, you need to go do this right now. So he starts running sprints out a hill. He's throwing up between every sprint. Then he goes in between the ice bath and heat, going between ice and heat and just trying to sweat it out, exactly like you said.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 rushing touchdowns in 150 yards.
Baller. It'd be like that sometimes.
He was like, I had my best game, the best game I've ever had when I started my day so hungover that I almost walked into the head coach's office to tell him I couldn't play.
I once dropped 45 at a church league game, hungover.
And here's the deal.
Hungover.
To your point.
Not like that.
No,
goodness gracious.
But to your point, it's the important thing is not about whether or not a 23-year-old can bounce back. We've all been 23. You know what I mean? Your metabolism's different. Your body's different. It's about responsibility.
Exactly. You got to be responsible. You put your team first. They're paying you a lot of money to do a job. It's dumb to be out at a casino. People can recognize you.
Yeah.
Do better, son.
Next up, We all love brutal honesty. This one, though, came after a win. It was Cougs head coach Jake Dickert, brutally honest about his own coaching performance in Wazoo's overtime win over San Jose State.
Yeah, they had to make up for their coaches' mistakes. I got completely out-coached tonight. These guys picked me up. They kept believing. We did say in the fourth quarter we were going to find a way. Hell of a kick by Dean Janikowski, and just an amazing finish to get the win.
What'd you think about that?
I think he's speaking for himself and the whole staff. It ain't just Coach Dickert. He doesn't call the offense. He doesn't even call the defense. He's more involved with the defense than the offense. But I think that, and also, you just have to tip your cap to San Jose State. I know people are texting in and they're like, San Jose State, what the heck?
When we were debating Boise State versus...
Nick Nash is going to be in the NFL. That receiver, he leads the country in receptions and yards and in touchdowns. They got a young man on the defensive line. I don't want to jack his name up, but Sonoye or something like that. He's going to be in the NFL. They're not a bad football team. In the offense that they run, they can always be right when passing the football. They run that run and shoot. So the receivers are literally making their routes up depending on the defense. Could they have done things better? For sure. Could Mateer have taken care of the football better? Most definitely. Could they be better tackling? Yeah. This is football. Teams are going to make plays. But this is him taking responsibility for his part in it and all the other coaches as well as his players. That's just a good head coach right there.
Now, I know that Cougs out there can take a shot. And by that, I mean you can usually let something roll off your shoulders. I know you guys are partiers, but I mean that you, they are for the most part thick-skinned and able to not just make fun of themselves, but to really celebrate a win and be like, we don't care. So I've always respected that. Oregon State, I would say, is roughly the same. However, I will tell you, you may, if you are a Coug fan, if you are an Oregon State fan, you may be annoyed by what Joel Klatt said.
Rough one for Cougs last night. Stanford going up on the road, getting that win, and the classic ACC battle of Stanford and Syracuse.
Stanford, new member of the ACC after the Pac-12. Saw teams leave the conference. Pac-12 still alive, though. They're getting ready to retool it, with Oregon State and Washington State leading the way. James Peoples on the run.
I almost said something I probably shouldn't have.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just like, they're expanding. It's going to be like generic. It's like generic medication.
First off, I almost said something. Actually, I'm going to say it. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to put it out there.
I almost said something.
I'm just going to say it anyway. Hey, it is what it is, man. I mean, when you look at the Pac-12, they don't have the heavy hitters that other conferences have. That's the truth. But what they do have, I'm telling you, Boise State is a good program. Fresno State is a good program. Wazoo, Oregon State. You got to start somewhere. So keep up your generic talk. And I guarantee you in a few years, there are going to be more teams that want to come over to the Pac-12 if they do it correctly. I ain't mad at that. It's whatever.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. That was the timeline. Coming up next, hear what Mike McDonald had to say in an exclusive interview this morning. Lots to cover with this one, including what he's learned about DK Metcalf, the physicality he's seeing on defense, and how he addresses plays that aren't executed correctly. That's next.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner, and he is there to add to his sack total.
On defense side of the ball, we're just trying to come out, be resilient, start fast, keep going, and finish the game. And I think we did that really, really well today.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side. He's in. Touchdown, Seahawks.
I thought we took a step forward today. It's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So
we are the home of the Seahawks.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work? If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both. I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
By the time this radio ad ends, another vehicle will be stolen somewhere in the United States. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep yourself and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Tommy!
can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
This is Seattle Sports.
Got DK open. Touchdown! Seahawks! A 71-yarder to DK.
The home of the Seahawks.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. Most guys don't realize that their ED started in their 40s. Symptoms of erectile dysfunction can be slight and subtle, but by treating your symptoms at the onset, you can avoid severe ED in the future. Mild ED is easily reversed at our clinic using our acoustic wave technology. Most men have accepted that ED is a part of getting older, but that's far from the truth. Our acoustic wave therapy has helped thousands of men restore function, whether they're in their 40s or their 80s. West Coast Men's Health also treats chronic pain, including neuropathy, plantar fasciitis, Dupuytren's contracture, and even carpal tunnel. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We're going to talk about some of the plays, the players, and the moments that caught our eye in that win over the Dolphins coming up at 12. Don't forget at 1 p.m. we're opening up phone lines. Are the Seahawks for real? 3-0. Are they for real? And usually we start by just saying who gets your game ball too, which we find is a pretty easy Monday call, right? Because there's so many answers, and when there are a lot of answers to one question, those are the most fun conversations. Right now, though, we're going over what Mike Macdonald had to say in an exclusive interview. This from the Mike Macdonald Show with Brock and Salk. First, what he likes about his team so far.
There's a lot to like. Man, he just threw it on me right there. I mean, there's a lot to like. I think it's the mentality that, like, yeah, we haven't arrived. We've done what we need to do to win games. Kind of like a moment by moment type mindset. So I think that's where we're at. I think the guys are going to watch it. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about. And there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find three wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking.
Sounds like he likes a lot so far. Still, though, like any critical head coach, is going to have some things he wants to change before they step on the gas.
Step on the gas. You're never going to be satisfied. Not until you've earned a bye and you can focus on the tournament. So 3-0, there are some things you can work on. I can name several. Our offensive line play has to be better. Gino, there were a couple of throws that Gino had where I kind of was like, oh, you don't want to do that. Now, the interceptions were different, but there were a couple where if the defender just looks for the ball and gets his eyes around, it's probably going to be an interception. So there are always things to improve on. Even a team who was undefeated, like the Seattle Seahawks, have to tighten some things up.
Mike Macdonald was also asked how he addresses plays that aren't executed correctly.
Oh, it's simple. You just head on. You know, I think the guys know that we're in this thing together. So, you know, this is what the call is asking you to do. This is what, you know, how you guys approached it. Let's make sure we're on the same wavelength on how we're thinking about things. And, you know, again, you're never going to call a perfect game. There's plays yesterday that I'm going to tell the guys, hey, this is not a great call for this offensive play. Like, there's stress. So let's get through the down. Let's go to the next one. And that's always been the approach. Just kind of surgically, you know, just kind of keep the emotion out of it.
I think that's the way to go, honestly, as a head coach, whether it's to your coordinator or whether it's to players, just address it head on.
And you're not going to have the perfect call for every play, too. I think he realizes that they're going to call some plays. He's going to call some plays out of anticipation, and the opposition is going to come out and do something completely different. Now it's just up for your personnel to make the play for you. And being transparent and honest like that is the way to go, because players know. The veteran players, even some of these younger players know, all right, this is the call. Then you come out and you see the formation and down the distance and you go, all right, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. But we got to make it work. As long as there's gap integrity and we're fundamentally sound on the back end, you're going to have an opportunity to make a play, even if it isn't the best play for that scenario.
Let's talk about some of these players themselves. Mike Macdonald asked, what have you learned so far about DK?
He's such a great worker. It just is the big thing that's just like printed in my mind. Like this guy gets after it, you know, how he practices. And then just like the knack for like the game-changing play. I mean, it's really been like in the last 2 weeks. I don't know. Again, I didn't have that ability. So it's just like, man, that's really cool. Like that he's able to, like, it really is he is a threat at any point in the field. And then, but he makes it come to life in how he practices. Like the timing of that route is tough. Anytime you're on a double move, like you got to be able to run those routes full speed. So the quarterback can understand the timing and where to put it, because it's like 9 balls, you're used to like throwing 9 balls because it's the timing's consistent. You know what I mean, Brock?
Yep.
We start throwing like hitch and goes. That was a different route, but like hitch and goes, kind of timing gets out of whack sometimes. So like it's not just, you don't just run that route once. I mean, they've been doing things like that in camp, you know, for a while.
I thought that was a really thorough answer, because he talked about DK the person. He's a really hard worker. Like he really tries, which I also think people maybe fundamentally misunderstand about DK. Like they really do. Listen to his press conferences. Like it's very subdued, answering honestly. Like it's like there's a public perception of him, and then how he is to reporters or to people in the building, which is polite, professional. But also talked about DK the player from that aspect. Did you agree with what Mike said?
Yeah, he is a hard worker. I've heard that several times from different players and coaches when it comes to DK. The player, he is a big play type of guy. He's not the nickel and dime player. That's JSN. That is Tyler Lockett. He is this ball is going to be thrown 20 to 25 yards minimum in the air typically, and he's going to make plays. Also like how he mentioned the timing of a double move. it's a dance. A slant and go is 1, 2, 3, snap, 1, 2, 3, snap. And then once you put that left foot in the ground and you're going vertical, you're anticipating contact from the safety. And if you don't, then now you're just trying to dig and run by him. The timing of that route is important. I went back and I looked at McDonald was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore in 2022 and 2023. I'm looking at the receivers that were there. This is the best receiver Mike McDonald's ever worked with. So he had some hardworking guys like Deshaun Jackson towards the end of his career. Obviously, tight end Mark Andrews. You also had Odell Beckham with that squad for a little bit. But nobody in their prime like DK Metcalf. So I can imagine just how excited he is being able to work with him.
Okay, so we have only 2 minutes and a lot of cuts. So if you guys want to listen to the rest of this interview, the full interview, you'll have to go listen to the Brock and Salk podcast. It's halfway through hour 4 of their show. But for the purposes of what we're doing here, I'm going to give you a choice. You're going to get multiple choice with a couple of these. Do you want to hear Mike McDonald talk about crowd noise, Rayshawn Jenkins, Rayshawn Jenkins, Leslie Frazier, Mafe and Hall.
Let's go Mafe and Hall, then Leslie Frazier.
Mafe and Hall and Leslie Frazier. Okay. This is Mike McDonald being asked how Mafe and Hall are working in his system and how outside linebackers in general work in his system.
It's an edge position. You play anywhere from the C gap out to the D gap. I just think, like, I don't know. I mean, I only have the lens through defenses that I've coached on. So we ask a lot of those guys. You know, it's not just pin your ears back and rush every snap. It's you have to play blocks. You have to be violent on the edge. There's edge mechanics involved. You have to recognize like blocking surfaces and stuff on early downs. If you can get a pass tell, you got to get into a pass key and our pass rush plan. You got to learn how to play off of how they're rushing inside of you, which is really important because you have to balance the rush. So and you have all the drop responsibilities too, which is just extra stuff. We try to keep it in buckets for the guys so they can go execute it. Those guys deserve a lot of credit. I thought Draymond Jones played a great game yesterday. He's kind of like this edge interior hybrid type guy that we're still kind of ironing out like his solidified role, but I thought he played his best game yesterday.
So again, some stuff on Jones at the end there, but was asked initially about Mafe and Hall and why they're thriving and what skills are important. A lot of information there.
Yeah, and I'm glad he pointed out it's bigger than just getting after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you have to set the edge. You're going to be asked to drop into space at times. So fans are going to see and highlight the big plays, and those are fun. You should highlight them and celebrate them because getting after the quarterback is essentially what they get paid the most to do. But when you're dealing with your role on a defense, the more you can do, the better. That's why not having certain guys who were on this team last year made sense in a way because they were one-trick ponies. There are some guys who are really good at that one trick, and you will pay them a lot of money for that one trick. But if you can get young guys who you're developing to have multiple tricks and not have to be taken off the field because of certain situations, that's where your defense gets really potent.
Okay. I do not have time right now to get back to Mike McDonald's sound, but here's the deal. Because there is so much, let's hear a little bit of it at 12:45. So I promise I will get back to one or two things that he had to say at 12:45, and then we're going to open up phone lines, talk about who gets your game ball and whether or not the Seahawks are for real. They're 3-0. Are you buying it? Coming up next, though, we are going to take a look at the things that caught our eye. Week 3 edition.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about, and there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find 3 wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking. This next game's going to be really physical coming up. That's what they're hanging their hat on in Detroit, so the challenge is to step it up a notch.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. With rising interest rates and banks and credit unions continuing to tighten, the demand for our private portfolio loans has never been stronger. Therefore, for a limited time only, Legacy's Opportunity Fund is paying 7% interest on short-term cash with just a 90-day commitment and a 30-day notice to withdraw. It's the perfect place to park your short-term cash. And at 7%, I would challenge you to find a better short-term opportunity in the marketplace today. Don't let your short-term cash sit in a savings or money market account when you can get 7% with Legacy's Opportunity Fund and join the over 800 local investors with over $200 million invested.
Act now to receive Legacy's Opportunity Fund one-time offer of 7% on short-term cash. Visit Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. Legacy Family of Funds investments are available to accredited investors only. 7% APR is current rate for the Legacy Group Capital Opportunity Fund. Terms and conditions at legacyg.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with no credit financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. It's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment needed and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Sure, you can fill up at any gas station, but at any gas station, could you score 2 tickets to a Seahawks game? Sure can't. So head to a 76 or Conoco station and turn your next pit stop into a touchdown. When you buy 8 or more gallons with the Fuel Forward app, you can enter to win 2 Seahawks tickets. Next stop, Lumen Field. See official rules for details. Valid July 29th to December 15th, 2024. Copyright 2024 Phillips 66 Company. All rights reserved.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
There's a lot of things I love about this Eastside Weight Loss Clinic program, and it's not just the 35 pounds that I lost in 8 weeks. That was big, but it's keeping it off. It's the sustainability, and this program does it better than anyone else.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Down to the one. He's in. Touchdown. Seahawks. Zach Charbonnet.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Good news for the 3-0 Minnesota Vikings. An MRI revealed quarterback Sam Darnold has no structural damage to his left knee. He missed a play in the third quarter of Sunday's win with that one. That means he should be fine for Sunday's game against the Packers. Meanwhile, in Detroit, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports Lions tight end Sam Laporta suffered a low ankle sprain in their win over the Cardinals. The Lions host the Seahawks for Monday Night Football in Week 4.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
All right, we are going to open up phone lines in an hour. You're going to give away a game ball and then tell us if the Seahawks feel legit. Now 3-0 to start the season, or if you still need to see more. Again, that conversation coming your way in an hour. We're going to open up phone lines. Right now, though, still just me and Bump sharing our opinions about what caught my eye. So let's get to it. Bump, what stood out to you in Week 3?
Oh, man, what stood out to me in Week 3, I got to start off with DK Metcalf, man. Back-to-back weeks with over 100 yards, man. He's showing folks I'm worth that $25 million, and if he keeps this up, I think I did his numbers for the first 3 weeks. If he continued at that rate for 15 weeks, he'd be at 1,200 yards by week 15. Yeah, man, this is a big year for him because he's going to ask for more money next year, and he has to justify it, and he is doing exactly that. He's reminding people, like, look, you do have JSN, good receiver, slot, across the middle doing his thing, but nobody is as explosive as DK Metcalf in this offense right now with Ken Walker not being available. So yeah, it's DK Metcalf, man, efficient. I believe he had 6 targets for 4 receptions, over 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Was the catalyst when it came to bouncing back from that turnover in the red zone, which led to 3 points. DK Metcalf 14, and then the grown man catch on the sideline too, to snatching it over the DB.
I loved him being asked whether his touchdown, 71 yards, was better, or that particular catch over Kendall Fuller.
Winning, because if we didn't win, we would have had a sour taste in our mouth after the second and third quarter that we had out there. So, winning takes care of a lot of mistakes, but you can't overlook them or sweep them under the rug. You got to be professionals and, be the type of team that fix those mistakes and, moves on and improves throughout the season.
Love that answer. Hey, DK, what felt better, the touchdown catch or that catch over Fuller? Winning felt better.
I would have said winning. But then mossing that little boy on the sideline was pretty cool, too.
It's like one of those highlights that I want to send people, and I tweeted this because I thought it immediately. It's one of those highlights I want to send people who go, trade DK. DK's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, DK's not worth his penalties. Why is he worth it? Because of that moment. Because who do you have in your receiver room? And this isn't me saying Tyler isn't talented. In fact, he's one of my takeaways. This isn't me saying that JSN can't get it done. DK is a different type of receiver. He's incredibly physical. He's a big guy. He has an incredibly rare combination of size and speed that you can't just find. And yes, we've seen examples of teams kind of replenishing their wide receiver rooms in the draft, and it's led to a debate about whether you pay those guys or just hit the draft for more NFL-ready wide receivers. But there's a bigger conversation here about kind of how you deal with talent when talent isn't perfect. And we've had that conversation to an extent with Julio. How do you deal with talent, and how do you accept talent or value it when it's imperfect? And DK's imperfect, Julio's imperfect, but they're undeniably talented.
All right, so we're 3 weeks in. What receivers going into the season did you feel were better than DK?
Tyreek, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb. You could debate Brandon Ayuk, though I think I'd still, admittedly, homerism, take DK over him. I would take Justin Jefferson 1,000%. Again, all due respect to DK, but I would say there are 6 or 7 guys you could make the case for.
One of those guys have more receiving yards than DK right now.
Really good point.
Just one.
That's a good got him point.
It's early, but just
got
one.
Him. Mine's actually very related, my first one, so we'll go ahead and get to it. So on that drive in which DK Metcalf had that 22-yard play mossing him, what I saw was really important because it was what I didn't see. Huddles. Mostly no huddle on that one. This up-tempo kind of offense, it really worked against the Patriots, and then weirdly they got away from it for a little bit and weren't quite as effective offensively. No huddle has been working for them. You saw it a lot on that drive, and I just really appreciate it. I really like up-tempo. I think quarterbacks like up-tempo, offenses like doing it, but you need to make sure you trust each other. You guys know the playbook, you know your roles, you know what you're supposed to do, and so far so good for them.
Yeah, what the no huddle does is allows you to get into a rhythm and forces the defense to have to stress their communication a little bit, right? Because you're not changing your personnel, because if you do, then they're allowed to change their personnel defensively. But you're saying, look, I like this matchup, and I'm going to keep this personnel group on the field because there's something I want to exploit. It's up to the defense to try to figure out exactly what you're trying to exploit. Sometimes you play Madden, and I catch my son in the right defense, and I just press Y, and I'm running the same play over and over and over again because I know he can't switch his personnel. What do you got to do? You got to burn a timeout. So you're stressing the defense out because you like the matchup. I like the no huddle.
There was one moment in this game, it was not on that drive, but I'm sure you can think of it the second I say it. There was one moment early where they had to call a timeout because they clearly were not on the same page, and there was some kind of miscommunication there, and I don't know what was happening. First and 10, it was their second first down, 1st and 10. It looked like they burned a timeout on their first drive with some confusion. Otherwise, they've kind of been on top of it, and I've really respected that considering it's a new offensive coordinator. What do you have next?
All righty. Play clock. These guys are getting out the huddle with like 15 seconds left, and what this does is whenever they line up in empty, I go, all right, they might run a play out of empty, but 8 times out of 10, they're going to motion the running back to the backfield because they're just trying to make the defense declare what they're in. Are you in man? Are you in zone? You're going to see a motion. You'll see a shift. They're moving guys around. They make the defense have to communicate. And the reason why they're able to do that this year better than last year is because they're getting out of the huddle with so much time left on the clock. Gino's allowed to be the conductor. He's allowed to be the general and move things around and try to diagnose, okay, where do I think I'm going with this football? There's always a pre-snap read. There's an in-snap read or after the ball is snapped. And he's been doing great at that. So that tells me that Grubb is he's one step ahead. He's got that, okay, there's a positive gain here of 5+ yards, and I'm probably going to go here. If there isn't a gain here, this is where I want to go. He just seems like he's in complete control. I wish I could watch him for a full series and just see how he operates. Where does his eyes go? Grubb, I'm talking about. As soon as the play is done. What's the communication like? I want to sit in that room, man. You know what, Grubb, if you're listening, hook your boy up, man. Let me sit in the room with you for like one drive just so I can see what the communication is like and understand how many moves ahead you are, because it seems like he always has an answer or has a play ready with like 15 seconds left on the play clock.
I wonder if all of our what caught my eye moments are going to be offense, because all 3 of mine are. Let me go ahead and jump to the next one, and I'm doing this here. It was going to be my 3rd one, but I'm doing a compliment sandwich, which is my 1st and 3rd, I'm going to try to make really positive and really encouraging things, and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze right in the middle here the filling of this sandwich, the one thing that was just pretty frustrating to watch. Like you, I don't ever want to call for anyone's job. So that's not what I'm doing. However, Anthony Bradford has to figure this out. He is I believe, 6th-round pick. He's only a 2nd-year player. He has limited playing time. Learning curves, obstacles, bumps that you're going to have along the way are completely normal and expected. So I'm not disappointed that Anthony Bradford allowed a sack or maybe potentially 2 in this game. Like, I'm not disappointed that, he's struggling to help establish the run and work on some of those things. You're figuring it out. The NFL is incredibly, incredibly difficult. However, Anthony Bradford has 6 penalties through 3 weeks. That is the most on the team by 3. DK Metcalf behind him for 3. You cannot get those, especially when they prove costly. Bump, earlier you had the stats on the 3rd and long and the average 3rd down distance.
12.8.
12.8 yards.
Goodness.
On average, 3rd and 12.8. That's insane. It limits your playbook. It limits what you can do. It also takes away from good performances from other guys. If Zach Charbonnet picks up 12 yards on 3rd and 17, it doesn't feel like a good gain. That was an amazing run by Zach Charbonnet. Anthony Bradford has to figure out a way to just tighten up the play, get those penalties down, especially in big moments. It's hard for a young guy to do, but that interior line has a couple question marks. And I'll take Connor Williams out of it, though he did have a holding call in this one. He's otherwise been solid.
Yeah, it's you can't expect perfect play from your line, but you got to be a bit more consistent. And I could imagine that Bradford, after having 3 weeks where he's averaging 2 penalties a week, where he starts second-guessing himself, and now you're not able to just play freely, use your technique, and have a good base and all that good stuff. I always refer to Big Ray when it comes to offensive line play, and he has a lot of critiques when it comes to Anthony Bradford, but he also says that when he does things correctly, it's amazing. Like, he looks like a baller out there, but it's all about consistency, man. If you can't do your job at a certain level and your lows are outweighing your highs, then there's going to be competition. But that's why you draft Christian Haynes. That's why you bring in the young man from Utah. That's why you draft Gerald from Finlay. Like, there's a reason why you carry 11 offensive linemen, because it's going to be a competition. And we're used to this here in Seattle because we haven't had a solid 5 in quite some time.
And since I can ever remember. And also, important context here, and again, I don't mean to look ahead, but this offensive line needs to just tighten up play in general, and soon. Bump, if you were to just guess which team led the league in pressures last year.
I'd say Philly.
That would be Detroit. Detroit's defensive line led the league with quarterback pressures. So they are going to bring it. Aiden Hutchinson is going to bring it, and it is not going to be easy for this O-line in week 4.
Well, here's the thing, too, is if we continue to see Bradford, that means that during the week he's fine, or he's better than everyone else.
Very good point.
So we can get frustrated with him being out there at times, but he might be their best option. So the only option he has is to continue to get better and have those better plays show up more often.
Okay, what's next?
All right, I'm going over here to the defense,
there we
man.
Go.
And I'm looking at Drake Thomas. He earned some playing time. I don't know where it is. I don't know how often it's going to be. But 42 was flying around, making some plays, and he was doing it with a swag of a guy who's been in this league for a while. This is his second year in the league. But I loved his intensity. There was one play where he breaks to the flat to tackle a tight end. He gets the first pop, and then Jenkins cleans it up. And in his mind, he made the tackle, and he's getting up with that swag, feeling good about it. He made the biggest hit in the game, in my opinion, on the screen to Achan, I believe it was. You got to find a way to get this young man on the football field. Probably going to be on special teams, right? When Dodson and Baker are healthy, you have to lean on those guys. They are the better guys. But you might have found yourself that Radigan. And I think he might be better than Radigan, more versatile than Radigan. You always need a Radigan on your team, a Nick Ballore on your team who played multiple positions, because they come in handy, especially on special teams. So I like what I saw out of the young man. I think Tyrese Knight had a decent day. He got a bit hesitant towards the end of the game. And that's natural for rookies, man, because you feel like you're playing under so much pressure. You know that you're a rookie, and if you mess up, they're going to highlight you on film, and you're already backing up the starters in this game. And that's what happened with Knight, too, man. It was like the very first play of the game on defense. They snatched him out because he didn't hold container or something like that. But Drake Thomas, man, he did enough for me to start. When I bring out my binoculars, man, I'm that old man in the press box. I'm in the binoculars. Like, I highlight some dudes. I'm following you the whole play. I'm going to start following 42, see what he does.
Man, I had a moment where the press box at the 50-yard line, this sounds stupid, but obviously directly across the field, you see like the clock and some of the stats. And so I'll look up as I'm jotting notes to be like, what time is it in the game when they're taking over for something? The amount of times in yesterday's game that I was squinting,
man,
I was ashamed.
Contacts. I got to use this, this benefits package we got.
Let me tell you what.
I need them contacts.
Next up, I went with Tyler Lockett for this one. 2 passes in particular, and this is secretly a Geno one, too. 3rd and 5. It's the only third down conversion of the first half. Geno found Lockett for 7 yards. I'm crediting Lockett with this one. Lockett cuts back underneath his man. He looks like he loses his balance, but then he doesn't. He reels in the pass. It's an amazing conversion. I wish that they actually would have scored there. It ends up, I think, being a punt or just a turnover, something that doesn't work out there. Amazing body control, timing, spatial awareness from Tyler Lockett. It's something that, like, when you look earlier, when you asked me, like, hey, which wide receivers would you have taken over DK heading into the season? I'm looking at, like, the big names, the guys that are, drafted 1st through 5th overall in fantasy football every single year. Tyler Lockett is not going to put up those numbers that those guys have, but the reason he's overlooked is because the stuff he's great at are moments like this. That moment where you go, how'd he get there? Where'd he come from? How'd he catch that? Right? And it's not always going to be reflected. I know he's had a 200-yard game, but it's not always going to be reflected in the stat sheet in terms of, some amazing performance. It's going to be reflected in the scoring drive they have when you wondered how they'd get down the field.
Yeah, he's going to have those sneaky good plays. Like that third down you're talking about. The ball was thrown behind him. He's got to adjust his body. His hand selection was not the greatest, but he catches the football. There's another play. It wasn't on third down. It was a second down where he runs an option route, gets across the middle, gets upfield, and then he falls down. And people are like, why is he falling down?
Yeah.
Because he is 5'10", 180 pounds.
Right.
That's why he's
because
falling down.
science and physics.
There's no need to take a hit. He's not going to run through anybody. He understands that. The healthier he is, the more clutch he's going to be, especially late in the season. And so far this year, he's your third receiver, but only back by 20 yards or something like that, 30 yards. You got DK with 262. You got Jason with 175. You have Tyler Lockett with 138. He's got 17 targets, and Jigba 21, DK 24. The distribution is proper right now.
The other one I wanted to toss on, which I said is secretly a Geno one, was a 16-yard pass to Lockett on the following drive. Geno stepped up, hit as he throws.
I think that's what I'm talking about, where
I think so.
Lockett falls down.
Yeah, right over the middle.
Uh-huh.
So let's look at Geno on that play. You looked at Tyler and said, look, he brought it in. I'm not mad at him for not continuing with yards after catch. You know, he's a smaller receiver, protect your body. Geno did exactly what you want a quarterback to do. And I don't mean make a big play when it's most important, which he did. I mean, step up in the face of pressure, take a hit as he's throwing it and still land it.
Sure did. I saw that play, and I'm like, yep, Geno stood in there. But
Yeah,
then I
he
also
did.
thought, man, if this was 2008, Geno be on his butt right now, because they know, these defenders know I cannot run through the QBs the way that I used to.
That's true.
That is the benefit of protecting the quarterback. But I'm telling you, I want you guys to stand in your living room and have your wife, your significant other, just run at you full speed, and you can't protect yourself and wait till the last second to throw a football. You gonna feel it.
Yeah.
No, so now imagine having a 300-pounder doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
You gonna feel it.
All right, we are going to take a look around the NFL coming up in 15. What do we make of the Falcons' play call with the game on the line against Kansas City? Maybe the most controversial play from yesterday's games. Right now, though, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it. Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, breaking news. This coming across just a few minutes ago. The Action Network's Brett McMurphy says that Gonzaga is leaving the West Coast Conference to join the newly formed Pac-12. What's the real headline?
Oh, so the Pac-12 is doing what it should have done years ago. Now, I know that obviously you're looking at football schools and you're looking at what you can do here, but I cannot tell you, and probably because we're a Seattle sports station, so we have Gonzaga fans, I cannot tell you how many Zags fans have texted in over the years going, the Pac-12 should go after the Zags.
Yeah. This is awesome. Not only, obviously, their basketball team is good, their baseball team has a good program, and their soccer teams are decent as well. This is great, man, and here we go. Talking all that stuff. What was it? Clapp? What was his name?
Joel Clapp.
Joel Clapp.
Talking all that stuff now. It's going to grow. It's going to take us a few years to get some heavy hitters in there, but I love this move. I hate it for Washington State basketball, though, and Oregon State basketball, because the Zags coming over here and dominating, but you know what? It's only right. They're a Northwest team. They're a West Coast team. Come on down. I'm glad you're here.
I can't even hate on what the Pac-12 is doing. Washington State, Oregon State doing literally the best thing they possibly can to save their conference. Again, that deadline is going to be the summer, I believe, of 2026. So they have some time to get this done and to finalize, the collaboration they're doing with these schools and adding these schools to the conference. But some of this stuff, I mean, adding Boise State, going after Gonzaga, are things that people long wanted the Pac-12 to do. So I feel bad that, outsiders like Joel Klatt look at the Pac-2 and go, they're still horrible. There's no winning no matter what. They're doing exactly what they need to do to save the conference.
Do what you can to survive. Go ahead, Curtis.
Some interesting wrinkles with this possibly going down is that Gonzaga will still receive a full conference share even though they're a basketball-only member. They don't have a football program, so they can't contribute TV dollars that way. But, I mean, their basketball program, the amount of revenue they generate and what they generate for that conference might be equivalent to having a football program at the end of the day, especially because they get so many NCAA tournament units where those pay out over a 5-year period. So, yeah, I think it's a smart move.
Here's one thing we can guarantee. They're going to the Elite Eight, but it's a wrap after that. They haven't been able to get it done, but their brand is recognizable nationwide, and I think you need those type of brands to bring prestige to this conference. So Welcome,
Yeah.
Gonzaga, welcome.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Rams beat the 49ers yesterday and the Lions beat the Cardinals. So the Seahawks are 3-0 while the rest of the NFC West is 1-2. What's the real headline?
Hopefully a 2-game lead in September isn't equivalent to a 10-game lead in June.
But it's not equivalent, though.
No.
It's not. But I get what you're doing there. You are keeping everyone on their toes and saying, don't you dare relax. Don't you dare think.
Don't let the foot off the gas.
Don't you do it, because we saw this happen with the Mariners, and we understand, like, look, this is a long season. You got the Detroit Lions coming up on Monday Night Football. The nation's going to be able to see you. I think the Lions game could be a wash to me, right? Just don't get stomped out. Look like you're improving in some areas, because then after that you have the Giants, and you can head into the Niners game at 4-1. And I think that is a great place to be, because if we look at everybody else, the Cardinals, they got the Commanders coming up. You expect them to win that. I don't know if you expect them to win. Jane Daniels has been playing all right. I don't know, but I think they'd be the favorites. They have the 49ers and the Packers. Like, their next 3 games aren't guaranteed, and we haven't seen enough of them to really believe in what's going on. They've already lost to the Lions. If you beat the Lions and you have that mental edge over them, this is just such a week-by-week type of deal that, I look at it, the season, in like 2-week increments. It's like, all right, if you split this, what happens? If you go 0-2, what happens? I think if you can split these next 2, you should be all right.
Let's talk about this game in particular very quickly. We didn't during our first edition of Headline Rewrites. The Rams ended up beating the 49ers 27-24. That was thanks to a fourth quarter comeback. One stat from Yahoo Sports, it's the 5th time under Kyle Shanahan the 49ers have lost a game in which they led by 10 or more in the fourth quarter. And that's not quite dogging Shanahan, whose teams have made it to a Super Bowl and who have represented the NFC in the conference title game and all kinds of good stuff. But it is just like a really weird one. Only one other head coach has done that in the same time frame. Meanwhile, though, what really stands out to me, look, the Seahawks and every single team in the NFL have long benefited at times from a bad defensive pass interference call or from a lengthy defensive pass interference call. However, the Rams hit a field goal with 5:42 remaining, then a touchdown with 52 seconds remaining, which tied it up 24-all. They were able to get down the field to get another field goal because San Francisco was hit with a 25-yard defensive pass interference call. Again, because it goes against the 49ers and the 49ers lose, I'm like, I'm not crying a tear for you. I'm so sorry.
No.
However, every time I see a defensive pass interference call that's over 20 yards, I just roll my eyes because it's ridiculous. Just make it, we talked about it earlier, make it 15 yards.
Yeah, that's
whatever
crazy. It should be 15 yards. And then say you're 50 yards out and there's a pass interference in the end zone. You get that thing like what, inside the 5 or something
It's
like that?
just stupid. It's
wild,
really
man.
stupid.
It's crazy. And then for a receiver, it's easy for us. All we have to do is work back to the football and have the defender not play the ball, and it's an automatic pass interference. Again, Mel Kiper and your 2 high safeties, I don't know why that just popped into my head, because it's just so hard to play defense in this league. I agree 100% with that.
All right, well, that defensive pass interference call was not the most controversial call from Week 3 in the NFL. We'll tell you what was next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
The crux of this defense has been its secondary so far.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
I know they don't have a quarterback. I get it. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they did a grand total of jack squat.
Yeah, 0. That would be a Tyrell Dodson 0 against Spoon and Woolen when they were covering him. That was a 0. And yeah, you could feel some of their frustration mounting. I haven't.
In order to feel their frustration, I would have had to have noticed them.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Can't fix everything for everybody, but you can be there and listen and try to help with what you can. You're there to support them, and that's the best that you can do.
Justin Meek. He's the leader and caretaker of the 380 people who consider Lee Johnson their home.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us. My wife and 3 kids in the house, there's always something wrong with somebody at all times. And if there isn't, then something's wrong. When you have 388 employees, there's never a day that everything is good everywhere. You have to be okay with that. You have to look at that as opportunities to gain a better relationship with people and help them through what they're going through.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
John here with Happy Hauler. Furniture and household items you plan to throw away?
We work with organizations all over Western Washington to donate used items. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
With Floor Coverings International, the mobile flooring showroom comes to you. Book an appointment, pick out the flooring you like, and they'll order and install it for you. It's that easy. Visit FCIFloors.com to book an appointment. Floor Coverings International, the stars of flooring.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down, Derek Hall, and he is there to add to his sack total.
The home of the Seahawks. Seahawks Insider, brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
When Geno Smith's pass attempt to Zach Charbonnet was tipped and picked off with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter yesterday, it didn't take long for Smith to bounce back. On the first play of the next Seahawks possession, he hit DK Metcalf for a 71-yard touchdown. Smith spoke to reporters after the game about how that play came about.
Yeah, that was a play that we have been repping all offseason. Give DK the option to read that right there. If we get the coverage we like, he's going to, take the top off it. So, they're playing the low quarters on that side. They play half to the other side. We got the safety in the position we want him, and, he really bit down on the dig route, and then, DK was able to get behind him. I thought the protection was great. Allowed us that extra second we needed to get the ball downfield, and that was a big play for us.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and for years I've been recommending Riverside Roofing as the roofing company you can trust. Well, what does that mean? Trust that a contractor is going to show up on the day and time you agreed to. Trust that they are going to complete the work and leave you with a brand new roof that's going to last. Trust Riverside Roofing will keep your yard and driveway clean of debris like nails and shingles. Trust Riverside Roofing will give you a roof at the right price. Trust means everything. And when it comes to choosing a roofing company for your home or your business, it should be the deciding factor. I found Riverside Roofing to be exceptional in their work. They're professional. They're trustworthy. They're family-owned local company servicing Western Washington. So give them an opportunity to earn your business this fall. Riverside Roofing has worked with people at the station and listeners I know who've heard me talking about them for 6 years now. So reach out, talk to Don or Brandon or Jordan. Find them at riversideroofingllc.com. They are Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Have you recently tried to get a loan to buy a piece of real estate? Are you tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and their endless guidelines? Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. we've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What did we make of the Falcons play call with the game on the line against Kansas City? That is where we're starting NFL headlines. Now, if you guys need a reminder, let's say that you were busy Sunday night, you didn't check this game, you just kind of heard about it. With less than a minute on the clock, in a game that had been back and forth, the Falcons were leading in the first half, then the Chiefs got back into it, pulled ahead, the Falcons get a field goal, it's now a 5-point game. So, game on the line, less than a minute remaining. The Falcons have the ball. They are in the red zone, again, trailing by just 5. It's 4th in inches. What are you thinking you do here? You run it down the middle, straight up the middle. You need like 2 feet of space for a first down. Instead, this happens.
Robinson, stopped in the backfield by Bolton.
They run it outside, stretch run. What'd you make of this play?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Is it because Kirk Cousins is old and you're afraid of his Achilles might pop? Then you know what? This week I want y'all to work on Bijan Robinson under center and let him be the quarterback and just fall forward. That is the highest percentage play. That's the thing you should do. It blew my mind, man. You guys had a chance to win this. Side note, Drake London might be one of the best route runners in the game when it comes to the underneath stuff. He's smooth. He understands how to move people. He got him back in that game. But I was so disappointed in this call right here. What are we doing? I don't care if the whole world knows it's going down. Fall forward. You got 2 running backs who can get it done. You got Bijan, you got Algier. Both these guys are ballers. This was dumb.
I'm glad that you mentioned it being a high percentage play, because I think when we immediately think of that kind of play, you think Philadelphia with the tush push and then teams not being nearly as effective as Philadelphia with the tush push. This is not that. I mean, Philadelphia was doing that in ridiculous moments and getting stuff done. This is a play where if you're watching a game and you see this moment, you know it's going to be a QB sneak, or you know that the running back's going to fall forward, and you almost chalk it up to this is going to be a first down. Oh, they need 2. They need inches. They needed 2 feet essentially. Like you said, fall forward. What I don't get is, yes, Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles. Are you that afraid of injury that you can't just QB sneak it with Cousins? Because you QB sneak it with guys that are not mobile. Like, it's not like Tom Brady's never been part of a QB sneak. It's not like Manning has never been part of a QB sneak. It's not like you need to be a dual threat like Lamar Jackson to successfully convert with a QB sneak.
And Landon, we're rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you.
Rooting for you. And you made a law. You made 4th and inches into 4th and like 10 yards trying to get around the edge.
That's the thing.
Crazy.
You made it so much harder on yourself. I don't care if you have Bijan Robinson, and you can hear it with the announcers. Cousins, because he thinks it's going to be a sneak, or maybe he'll hand it off quickly and they'll fall forward. And then Robinson, like he's surprised that Robinson has it and is being called outside. It was a weird play. I don't chalk it up, the Chiefs' 3-0 start, to just flukishness, even though there have been weird fluky plays in each one of the games that they've had. These have been close games.
They're in the game.
Yeah,
so you got to give them some credit.
They pulled ahead. All right, let's go to another AFC team. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce, none too happy with some of his players this following Vegas' blowout loss to the winless Panthers.
The team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
Let me tell you what, that is a threat and a half. If my head coach says, yeah, we saw some business decisions out there, and we'll be making some as well. If I know that I made one of those decisions, this is an eagle-eyed head coach. He will find it, and I will not be playing.
I need the tea, coach. Who is it?
Who's making
Who you talking about?
Decisions?
You talking about my boy Garner? I don't think you're talking about Garner, man. Even though O'Connell did enter the game, go 9 for 12 for 82. You better keep fighting there over there, Garner. But I appreciate this about Antonio Pierce. He's a former player, and he's still on the younger side, so he don't play when it comes to that stuff. It's embarrassing. You lose to the worst team in football. Andy Dalton did have himself a good day, though. 26 of 37, 319, 3 touchdowns, and they rushed for 131 on the ground. The Raiders only rushed for 55 yards on the ground. Yeah, I think it hurts even more because it's the Panthers. If it was anybody else, you take the L, but who is it, Coach? Let me know.
This was him today, doubling down on that business decision comment.
About the Raiders having to make business decisions. Have you made any of those yet?
No, we haven't. Got to give it to the players first.
Obviously, a lot was made of that comment, national media-wise this morning. I guess as you think about it, are you happy that you pointed it out?
I don't bite my tongue.
When it comes to making business decisions on the coaching staff's part, is that something lineup changes? Is it potentially guys?
Just whatever helps the Raiders win. And right now, that performance is not going to help any team win, let alone the Raiders.
I don't know how else to say this, but as someone who does love a reality TV show, I need Antonio Pierce to be a competition show judge. Like, he is blunt. He is quick.
Yeah.
He is honest. And I know that bluntness is the same, but like he also is, nothing he's saying feels rude. It just feels fair.
No, I feel like blunt is like, I'm going to say it the way I want to say it.
Yeah.
Honest is like, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Right? So, blunt, honest, I'm with that. Both of those.
I want him. I don't bite my tongue. Basically, he said, I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I stand on business.
Exactly. Next up, after Derrick Henry rushed for 151 and 2 scores against the Cowboys, Dallas owner and GM Jerry Jones was asked why his team didn't sign the future Hall of Famer in the offseason, knowing they needed a running back. Here's what he said.
I don't know. Why can't you buy a mansion when you live in a different kind of house? We couldn't afford it. We can't make that all fit. It's simple as that.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jerry Jones, incredibly rich man, was very close to saying to that reporter, I don't know, why can't you buy a mansion? And then he goes, if you're anyone. Like, but I'm telling you right now, he so badly wanted to say it to that man.
He wanted to, and then
he said, why don't you have a Beamer?
And then he kicked in. He goes, I'm the 0.5% of this world. I forgot about that.
I forgot I can't be a mean rich guy.
No, here's the thing. If they wanted to, they could have gotten him. And then
1 year, $10 million.
Also heard him say that he wasn't interested, or Derrick Henry wasn't interested. No. Then I also heard that Derrick Henry actually trains in Dallas and lives there during the offseason. This is poor management. And you said the GM and the owner, he's also the coach, the offensive coordinator, the defense coordinator. Jerry runs all of this. So he needs to take full responsibility for it, and their run game is garbage right now.
Truly.
So, he feels horrible.
Let's talk about Malik Willis. You mentioned him earlier in the show, so we'll get back to it. The Packers' current starting quarterback, with Jordan Love injured, had the best game of his NFL career against his former team. How sweet is that? Talk about getting a petty ball. He threw for 202 yards and a touchdown, while also adding 73 on the ground and another score in Green Bay's 30-14 win. Here's what head coach Matt LaFleur said after.
Yeah, I think anytime, maybe a change of scenery can be good for some guys. And I just cannot articulate the job that he's done in the short period of time. People can't fathom it. I promise you. You guys don't get it. I know you think you got it, but you don't get it. What he's been able to do is I've never seen something like this. So hats off to him. Hats off to everybody around him. Guys rallying, having his back. I think Tom Clements does a great job, and it wouldn't, I'd be remiss to say Connor Lewis and Sean Mannion. Just the help they've given him, the support. Jordan Love's been instrumental as well, just giving him the tips and hanging right by his side and helping him out all along the way.
I felt so good for Malik Willis that he was able to have that moment. And anytime a backup comes in and has a great day, obviously, but Malik had faced expectations and had that feeling of disappointing and failing.
He gets drafted, and the next year they draft another quarterback. Imagine what
Setting
that
you
does
up to fail.
To one man's confidence, man. And I'm happy for him. Now, he's got to keep it rolling. That's 2 games. Good for him. He's got the Vikings coming up. So that's going to be a nice divisional battle. But, you got to pat guys on the back when they do the things that Malik's been able to do. In such a short amount of time, he's picked up that playbook.
Jimmy Johnson, last story here, had some healthy advice for Panthers owner David Tepper on Fox's pregame show.
Well, why has he had all these coordinators and all these head coaches? The owner of the Carolina
Panthers. That's the problem. He's making the major decisions without listening to his football people. Tepper? David Tepper. You look at him, and now it's his team. He can do whatever he wants to. But look at the people that's left. Now, he's the one that wanted Bryce Young as the number one pick. And also look Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Brian Burns. You look at, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Look at coaches, Steve Wilkes, Frank White, Matt Rule, on and on. He's running them all off. He's making the decisions. He has got to listen to his football people and quit playing fantasy football.
Not just run them all off, but also had very short temperaments and timelines with how long he's willing to wait for people. Obviously, firing a head coach after half a season stint, not going with your interim coach, going with someone else. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Canales was fired, even though he's only doing what he can with the weapons he has. He has no patience.
My wife and I own a business. When it comes to financials and budgeting, I don't touch that. That's all her. When it comes to football operations, she sends it to me. Know what you're good at and stick to that.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Don't turn that blinker on. Do the speed limit and go straight.
And why not stay in your lane when you're in a Bentley and you're enjoying, it's like maybe you're in a self-driving car. Stay in your lane. It's so easy to stay in your lane. You sit in the back seat in a luxury car. You're in carpool. It's a big lane.
You're floating. You ever been in a Bentley?
No.
I'm telling you, you don't even feel the ground. You are floating. Just sit in the back of the Bentley and float.
Yeah. Have I ever been in a Bentley?
Why is that not you went to UW. You don't know who you came across.
Oh, my God.
You got rich friends and stuff?
Never been in a Bentley. I have driven a Pontiac. Grand Prix, baby.
Hey, them things are hot, though.
All right. We are going to get back to a little more Mike McDonald sound. Open up phone lines in 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
This is Seattle Sports.
Throw deep, got DK open, touchdown, Seahawks, a 71-yarder to DK.
DK was able to get behind him. I thought the protection was great. Allowed us that extra second we needed to get the ball downfield. That was a big play for us.
Down to the one, he's in, touchdown, Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet.
With the type of defense that we have on our team, it just gives us the utmost confidence to go out there and just play free.
We are the home of the Seahawks.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
If you're injured in the state of Washington, here's what matters. Who represents you matters. The experience of their staff matters. Their investigation team and track record of success matters. Davis Law Group was founded in Seattle and has been winning cases for more than 30 years. We know Washington State, we know our courts, and we know how to deliver the highest level of client satisfaction. And that's what matters.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
We are back, and we are looking at a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. In one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. See tracks, think train.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards RealFit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Hey, babe. Yeah, the bank password is moneybags, but a $sign instead of the S.
Mr. Moneybags here is about to get his identity stolen.
Wait, what?
If he used 1Password, he can share logins, credit cards, and other important information with just his wife, not the whole store. Sir, your card's been declined.
Again?
Security is complicated. 1Password isn't. And right now, get a free 2-week trial at onepassword.com. That's 2 free weeks at onepassword.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side, he's in! Touchdown! Seahawks!
The home of the Seahawks.
Do you have a musty, damp, or wet basement? As the soil around your home becomes saturated, pressure pushes water through the tiniest of cracks and joints in your walls and floor. Moisture and water can not only damage your basement with mold and musty odors, it can also impact the health of your family. Matvey can install a custom-designed waterproofing system, transforming your basement into dry, healthy, usable space.
Do it the right way, the Matvey way. Rock built, rock solid.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries' no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
Days are getting shorter. Football is back. Our team is starting out strong. We don't want your sinusitis, allergies, and congestion coming back strong as well. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. My team specializes in fixing your ENT issues. From allergy workups and treatment to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get the relief you need. Come see us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Looking for fine jewelry this fall? Good news! Seattle's favorite jeweler for more than 40 years now has 2 locations in the area. Come visit us in our beautiful new store with the biggest selection at South Center Square in Tukwila. Create your own engagement ring with the widest range of diamonds and gemstones and discover unique, fine jewelry designed by our in-house team. No matter your budget, our friendly team is here to help guide you in finding that perfect piece that speaks to you. Visit shaneco.com to find your closest store and hours. We can't wait to see you. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Opening up phone lines in 15 minutes. You're going to tell us who's getting your game ball, and then we're going to talk about whether or not the Seahawks are for real. So think about your answer to that question. Are you believing them? 3-0. Only 4 teams, I'm including the Bills who haven't won yet, so maybe I shouldn't. 3 other teams, the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Vikings are 3-0. You're one of 4 teams in the league to be 3-0. Are you for real?
Chiefs, Steelers, Vikings,
and Seahawks. Maybe the Bills if they win tonight.
And people are going to see those teams and say only one has a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
That's wild.
People are going to write off the Vikings. They're going to write off the Steelers. And honestly, outside of Seattle, a lot of people are going to write off the Seahawks.
That's how crazy football is. Like, they're still going to look at the Niners and say,
yes,
they're Super Bowl contenders.
Yep.
And they are in real life.
Yeah, they are. I know. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation. Also, you're going to sign a game ball at the beginning of your call. So again, we'll get to that in 15.
Sign a game ball.
Sign a game ball.
Oh,
yeah.
Sign a game ball. I'm like, they coming through?
Don't sign a game ball.
They coming through to Bonneville?
We're going to start, though, by quickly getting back to a little bit of Mike McDonald sound. I promised that I would get back to this. So let's go to start with Leslie Frazier. You wanted to hear what he had to say about the defensive assistant. Leslie Frazier, obviously a veteran. He knows exactly what to do, but it's always hard to tell what someone does behind the scenes. So Mike was asked.
Well, I'd say the thing that's unique to like last week is just that he's seen him so frequently, but I'd say the role is, consistent throughout the week or throughout every game, like looking at it big picture wise, kind of smelling a rat in some of our game plan stuff and what he feels like is sometimes I like to do. There's a lot, like I take out more throughout the week than I probably should. So he's kind of like, okay, like that's enough, Mike, or like, he gives me this look where let's calm down there, buddy,
Like he's helping you simplify? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Here's a bit more on what Frazier helps with week to week.
And then, just like we just had a great conversation this morning about where we are as a football team, things that he's seeing, observations from the game. He's got like a unique kind of, like a different lens that he's seeing our team through. That's a little bit, it gets less muddy, from maybe my perspective. So I'd say, but like last week, just because they played him so much, he had some unique insights into like his experience going against those guys. T-Dot was great because T-Dot's been that a bit. He's been with last few years too. So, but yeah, I'd say it wasn't like you got to play this coverage or you got to put this guy here or whatever. Like, it doesn't really work like that,
I think the most important thing I took from his answer bump is that Mike McDonald and Leslie Frazier have different opinions and views and lenses. It's not just someone you're bringing in to be like your hype man, to be like, yeah, I totally agree. You're making a great call. But you intentionally brought in someone who you trust, who you know is brilliant, and who thinks differently.
Yeah, you want to find holes in your game plan. You want someone to make you look at a coverage differently, or maybe a scenario in a football game differently. And why not someone who's been a head coach a couple times and a defensive coordinator for over a decade or two in this league, and Leslie Frazier. When you're 37 years old, he's more than capable of being the head coach, obviously, for the Seahawks and the defensive coordinator in this game. But you got to rely on some old heads, man, to kind of check you a little bit and do it in a way that allows you to, one, remain to keep the feeling that you run this, because at the end of the day, you run this. And Leslie knows that. Leslie, I got to finesse this a little bit. In his head, he might be like, stupid. But in real life, he's like, hey, man, what you think about
some
this?
Advice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way it is. You have to allow the head coach to be the head coach and run it, and respectfully challenge him in ways that allows him to think through everything. And I think that's what he's getting.
Mike McDonald said the crowd noise certainly impacted Miami.
Well, you could tell, it affected their operation for sure. Probably, if you're asking those guys, they probably wanted more, better out of their operation offensively. Mm-hmm. Having a new quarterback and all that, all that stuff kind of probably contributes to it.
Not easy at all. He was asked if Lumen Field, if that environment is the loudest he's coached in.
It's funny when we're playing, it's kind of like just white noise to me. Like when we're on defense, I know it's really loud because our guys, like the calls kind of have a hard time coming in, and you can see the offensive operation is under duress, but it's just like this white noise when we're going. I'm going to say us, I'm going to say Lumen Field by far and away, but
it's a good coach answer.
He's lying.
He's lying.
He played in front of 107,000. I get the design of Lumen amplifies the 67, I believe that it sits. But nah, man, he played in Michigan. Our coach in Michigan.
You know what I mean? This is where.
But hold on. Let's talk about this though.
Okay.
Do we have, I don't know how you measure sound or what? Do we have the charts to where we've seen the loudest crowds at an American sporting event? Because if we have numbers to support that, then you might just be right. But off of sheer numbers,
yes,
107,000 in Michigan. I played in front of 90 at Auburn, and that was ridiculous.
Loudest.
Arrowhead.
So I searched loudest crowds at college football games, over 130 decibels recorded at Tiger Stadium, LSU, and Husky Stadium. It's been recorded there before. So loudest crowd. So if we're thinking 130 decibels, 142 at Arrowhead. Okay, so maybe it does actually get louder, like the venue construction of NFL stadiums, certain NFL stadiums. Even though they hold fewer.
Sense.
Okay.
Because Ann Arbor, is that what it's called? The design is so old school.
It's just an open.
Yeah.
So if anyone's wondering about attendance. So when I saw this cut, I was initially like, look, sometimes we can be homers. You know what I mean? You want to think Lumen Field is the loudest place, the most beautiful stadium. Ann Arbor is if you took a sold-out T-Mobile, a sold-out Lumen, and just combined them to make a giant bowl. Mm-hmm. That would be Ann Arbor. Mike has been a defensive coordinator with that team. And look, I don't like Michigan, okay? I watch Michigan, Ohio State every year, and I root for no one to win.
Really? You don't like Michigan?
I don't like Michigan. I don't like them. However, sometimes I'll hear us talk about at Lumen or at anything with the Pacific Northwest, and I always think y'all,
Yeah, well,
we haven't experienced.
You might be
certain
right.
things, but I think
We
you might be right.
Yeah.
I mean, 142
Okay, I take it
decibels
back.
at Arrowhead, higher than 130 at one of the loudest college games ever recorded.
Hey, I apologize.
You know what? I apologize not only to Mike McDonald, but to science. I apologize to science.
Whoever
I was
designed
not,
Lumen, I apologize to you specifically.
much like Shaq, I was not familiar with your game. I did not excel there in high school, and that became apparent. All right, we are going to open up phone lines, 866-979-3776. Normally, I don't give you more than one task, but you have one this time. Number one, who gets your game ball? Number two, more importantly, are the Seahawks for real? Are they for real? 3-0 to start the season. I know I'm seeing some people disagreeing and fighting on this one on the Mac and Jack's text line, so now you better call in. We're giving you the mic. It's your chance to answer 866-979-3776. Game ball, are you buying the Seahawks? That's next.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about, and there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find 3 wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking. This next game's going to be really physical coming up. You know, that's what they're hanging their hat on in Detroit, so the challenge is to step it up a notch.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
You're losing your hair and you want a simple solution that works, and you want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parango and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, they were recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. 425-449-8185. If you qualify, get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. AdvancedHair.com.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate, or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
what about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Be at T-Mobile Park for the final weekend of the regular season. The action gets started with Mariners Fan Appreciation Night this Friday.
Back-to-back doubles, instant energy, and everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
The Mariners are squaring off against the A's at 7:10, and after the game, stick around for a special fireworks show presented by T-Mobile. Plus, you'll have the chance to win incredible prizes all night long, including Alaska Airlines flights, autographed jerseys, a first pitch in 2025, and more.
A high riser, riding back into the corner, gone! Julio!
Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets and check out everything else on deck at T-Mobile Park during our closing series against the A's, including Kids Appreciation Day this Sunday at 12:10, presented by Optum.
Strike three called. Four-seam fastball. Just seared the outside corner.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
This is Seattle Sports.
Got DK open. Touchdown! Seahawks! A 71-yarder to DK.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Good news for the 3-0 Minnesota Vikings. An MRI revealed quarterback Sam Darnold has no structural damage to his left knee. He missed a play in the third quarter of Sunday's win with this one. That means he should be fine for the upcoming game against the Packers. Meanwhile, in Detroit, ESPN reporting Lions tight end Sam Laporta suffered a low ankle sprain. That was in their win over the Cardinals. The Lions host the Seahawks for Monday Night Football in Week 4.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Are the Seahawks for real or not? You are calling in 866-979-3776 to kind of get things started, loosen up. You know, we all like an icebreaker, a nice little exercise here. You just have to give out a game ball.
What was your favorite icebreaker?
I actually hated icebreakers. When I was in college, we had an icebreaker.
Did you get hurt doing an icebreaker?
I did get hurt doing an icebreaker, but it was like a task. It was the floor is lava, and this guy was carrying me. And then this other girl was on his back. So you had to have like a limited number of times you could cross, and you had to get the most people across. So we were like, have that guy carry 2 girls. And then he tripped, and we all fell forward, and I extended my arm, like locked my elbow, and it dislocated.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's none of those today.
I didn't feel anything. You know what I mean? I'm a champ.
You're a soldier.
No, I was so embarrassed that I did not feel pain in the moment. Embarrassment does a lot in terms of adrenaline.
It does.
I can't recommend it enough. You're giving out a game ball, which is easy. It's just kind of how you're getting started. Hey, I'm giving my game ball to Mike McDonald, 3-0 start. Good for him. What we're really interested in, though, in are the Seahawks for real? And I am seeing mixed answers, Bump. Some people are not buying it on the Mac and Jack's text line. For instance, the 360 says they haven't played a playoff caliber team. No, not buying. Not buying. 866-979-3776. Call now. 866-979-3776. Call now. Are the Seahawks for real? And I'm going to start by asking you who gets your game ball. Robert in Issaquah, who gets your game ball? And then I got a question for you. But first, who gets your game ball?
Thanks for taking my call. My game ball is going to Rayshawn Jenkins.
Good one.
That guy had 8 tackles, 2 assists. He was all over the place. He was a monster on the field.
Yeah, we are not talking about him.
Are the Seahawks for real? This is what's concerning. They were 3 for 11 on third down efficiencies, 3 sacks allowed, 11 penalties for 92 yards. That is not a playoff caliber team. Like that previous texter just said, they haven't played a playoff caliber team. If you're going to play like that, you're going to lose. So my answer to that question is no. They are not for real yet.
Robert, I thank you for actually saying yes or no. I love it when people actually stick to something and they go, you know what? I love the Seahawks. I got tickets to that game. I went and watched the entire thing. First snap to the final whistle.
A lot of stadium.
No, I don't think they're for real. Like, I love an opinion. Robert Issaquah saying no.
Here's my thing. The Dolphins are a playoff caliber team when they have a quarterback. So their defense is a playoff caliber defense. There's just that one gap with this team. That's why I was excited and disappointed about this win, because I wanted Tua. I wanted the best that they had so we can really see what they're made of. We'll find out next week. I'm not mad at that. Who did he give his game ball to? Jenkins?
Jenkins.
Yep,
I haven't even mentioned Rayshon Jenkins' name today. Shame on me. He had a really good game.
He was balling.
866-979-3776. If it's easier, you could also just answer whether or not you think the Seahawks are for real. 866-979-3776. Call right now. I'm seeing the text lines blowing up. I'm seeing people have opinions here. Don't be shy. I feel like my dad at Thanksgiving. Don't be shy.
You know, I feel like my mother-in-law forces people to say grace, and she never does it. Be like, you say it. You always force everybody to say grace. You
the audacity.
Say it.
The audacity.
That's my mother-in-law. I love each other.
Going to Pat in Sparks, Nevada. Pat, who gets your game ball, and also, are the Seahawks for real?
So first of all, I would say that I would give it to Scheme again, but Bump hates that.
What do I hate? I don't hate anybody.
Oh, we might have lost.
Who devised that scheme?
Oh, there we go, Pat. Pat, would you mind? We lost you for just a sec. Go ahead and start your call over so we can make sure to get you here.
Okay, well, I was going to say that I was going to give it to Scheme, but Bump hates that because there's nowhere to send the ball. But I will have to give it to Mike McDonald. That was a defensive absolute gem. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, for real, I get it. It's not Tua," but here's the deal. That's still an offensive juggernaut with Tyreek Hill and Asian and all those guys. They're all good. So, and it's all an NFL team. And are they for real? Absolutely. And here's why. Confidence is contagious. I used to coach. I coached tons of football, basketball, baseball. And if you had a team that was on a 3-0 start, I guarantee you they beat the best team in the league just on the confidence alone. They feel like they can do it. They understand. They realize they can do it, so they can do it. Here's the deal: they're going up against a great Lions team. This will be the best test they're going to get. So I think when we can get out of that game, we'll be saying they're for real.
Thanks for the call, Pat. And if anyone's wondering, there's a reason I'm not asking you, are the Seahawks for real after taking on great opponents? Because it's the question everyone around the league is wondering. They're looking at these 3-0 teams today, everyone around the league, and they're going, okay, who's real, who's not, who's good, who's bad, who has a flukish win here and there, and who doesn't. And I would wager most people around the nation look at the Seahawks and think of them the way that they would the Vikings or Steelers as opposed to the Chiefs.
Here's the thing, man. One, Pat, you're right. I don't like the scheme. I don't like when people say the scheme, because the players have to actually execute the scheme, and the coaches got to teach the scheme. There's humans have to execute the scheme. I do like what he said about confidence. Confidence is crazy. Confidence will make you play out of your mind, make you believe you're better than what you are, take you to the next level. It is confidence is crazy. So I do give him that. I think these guys are for real up to this point. They're for real up to this point. No one else. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers who are 3-0, for real up to this point. Kansas City, 3-0, for real up to this point. You have to be for real because you won the ball game. Now, once you suffer some L's, we can foresee the future and say, okay, this is what I think they're going to struggle with. These are the teams they're going to struggle with. But up to now, I'm bought in.
My next two callers, I got a Patrick and Puyallup and a Tim from Squim.
Wow. That sounds like a R&B group.
Patrick and Puyallup. Who gets your game ball, and are the Seahawks for real?
I love it. I love you guys. Michael, Stacey, you guys are great. I got a game ball going to the offensive line because Geno Smith is still alive. And as far as are we for real or not, I think if we beat Detroit on Monday night, that'll say it all right there. I love you guys. Michael B., my Instagram brother. God bless.
Yes, sir.
Love it, Patrick. I love Patrick saying, the bar is the floor. Geno's alive, okay? They get the game ball.
The ceiling is the roof. It's nice that the O-line gets some love because you know what? Like, Connor has been playing good. Charles Cross is one of the highest rated offensive linemen in the league. You still need some other parts to play a bit more consistently. So they're doing enough to give Geno enough time to be the third leading passer in the game right now as far as yards behind Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy. So it's not just Geno, right? He is the one who ultimately makes the plays, makes the throw and the read and all that good stuff. But give the O-line some credit. They still need to be better for them to do more this year. And I think that's kind of how a lot of people are looking at the Seahawks in general. Like, you still have to be better if you want to do some things.
Are the Seahawks for real? And who gets your game ball? I'm seeing a 50-50 split with whether they're for real on the Mac and Jack's text line, and then obviously a lot of game balls being given out to a lot of different folks, which is a good thing. That is a great sign. 866-979-3776. Timmy, calling from Squim. Who gets your game ball, and are the Seahawks for real?
I give my game ball to DK Metcalf because the way he's taking the top off the defense and open it up for the rest of the team. I think Zach Charbonnet came to life after they started getting scared of DK going over the top, and that contested catch he made was just awesome. And as far as them being for real, I think they're for real because, like the last caller said, who didn't seem to believe they were for real, they had all these penalties and mistakes and bad on third down, but we still won. And I think of all the things you could clean up, it's mental mistakes. We'll clean them up, and then everybody's in trouble. So, I think they're for real, for sure. They beat them up every time if they don't make a mistake, they're moving down the field. So we clean up the mistakes, and we're going to be unstoppable, and our defense is clearly great. So DK gets the ball, and we're for real.
Thanks for the call, Timmy. Timmy saying, look, DK gets my game ball. Maybe I'll have you respond to that first because it's the first time we've heard DK, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, and I'm glad someone brought up DK because the DK hate, I feel like, overwhelms the love sometimes on this show for some odd reason. And he reminded y'all the last couple of weeks, you DK haters out there, that, look, I might not catch everything. I might not be the most fluid receiver out there, but I'm one of the most explosives and one of the most physically intimidating. And when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. So, I'm glad DK is getting some love. He deserves it.
I also can at least respect Timmy for saying, look, granted, penalties you can clean up. Like, I'm not looking at this team going, oh, my God, they have a giant hole with this part of the defense. I'm looking at it saying, you can clean up sloppy play. But also focusing on a win's a win. Like, when you talk about whether you're for real or not, 4 teams are 3-0. That's it.
That's it.
4 teams. So
and
there's a certain point where you just got to go tip of the cap, man.
When it comes to penalties, right now, the Seahawks are 24th in the league. So they need to clean that up, averaging 7.7 penalties per game.
Oh.
The best team in the league when it comes to penalties, the Vegas Raiders at 3.7.
I would not have expected that.
Me either.
But it's because I'm a stereotyper.
Exactly. You see the logo, you think bad guys, not discipline.
Did you see the Adam Schefter report, by the way, that came out while we were in the segment saying that the Raiders are considering a quarterback change?
Man, there's this guy that that I hit up on. We went back and forth last night on Twitter, and he was like, "Bum, we made a bet that Minshew would not be the starter for the remainder of the season," and I kind of remember it. So if this happens, I got to give him some love.
Okay, Mariah calling from Olympia. Mariah, who gets your game ball, and are the Seahawks for real?
The Seahawks are definitely for real. Our defense did not let them get a touchdown, and I think that's, to me, is equivalent as a baseball pitcher giving the other team some bases but not letting them get any home runs. So that's what I'm equivaling that to. So I think we're definitely, defensive-wise, playoff potential. The entire defense gets my game ball, so maybe you'd have to buy a bunch of game balls. I just think that we could use some more trick plays on our offense because we've used them in the past and they've worked good, and then we stopped using them, and I don't know why. But I think that we need to up our offensive trick plays because they're just kind of the normal plays that everybody's used to. And if we switched it up, that'd be great.
All right. Thanks for the call, Mariah. Mariah in an uplifting mood. Saying, look, I think they're for real because I think the defense is for real. She equated it to, a starter not giving up any home runs. I'd almost equate it to if he pitched, a one hitter or something where you just go like, look, you have to recognize at the end of the day that a one-hit game, a no-hit game against a bad roster is still incredibly difficult to do. Not letting an NFL offense, I don't care, you could put me behind center, not letting an NFL offense, I know, but okay, maybe not me, but still, Tim Boyle, he's in the NFL. Skylar Thompson, he's in the NFL. Skylar Thompson was a draft pick. Like, I know that it's not their starter. You are at the 4-yard line twice, and you did not get in. You were at the 2-yard line. You did not get in.
First, let me start off by saying every time I see the name Mariah, I think of Old Dirty Bastard. Me and Mariah go back like babies with pacifiers. She's probably too young to remember that song. 2, I'm not mad at what you're saying about, a offense should be able to score or get points when you're in the red zone. The second time they were in there, they had to go for it, right? It was 4th down, I think. So let's give them 6 points, because if it was a closer game and the circumstances were different, they probably kicked the field goal and you put 6 points on the board, which would still be an excellent day for the Seahawks. But I'm looking at the film when I'm watching obviously the game from the other day, and the quarterbacks aren't even looking at Tyreek Hill. They're not even looking at him. Like they are so locked in to one side and wanting to get the football out of their hands so quickly. They're not looking at him. Hill had 5 targets. 5 targets. If you are down, if your quarterback is out and you are the backup quarterback, if you're staring down anybody, it is Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
So, yeah, they should have been able to put up more points. The quarterback situation does affect it. I think that the demeanor of Mike McDaniels, too, also reflect what was going on the field. That dude was losing his mind on the sideline. It was the least composed I've ever seen that young man. So when it starts with the leadership, when they're behaving that way and they're all stressed out, why would we expect the offense to do anything?
Let's go to Nelson and Kent. Nelson, who gets your game ball, and are the Hawks for real?
So my game ball is going to go to Charbonnet. I thought at the end of the game, and this is credit to the O-line too, they really started to run the ball well to close the game out. I thought Geno played a great game. I mean, his 3 turnovers this year, none of them were just on like, oh, didn't see a defender, bad throw. They're all under like severe pressure. Couple of them like 50-50 tips. The one in the end zone is like he's either taking a safety there because the line got blown up, or Charbonnet, like Bump said earlier, like he would tell you he's got to at least knock that ball down. As far as the Seahawks being for real, I would say this. Like, if we're going playoff caliber team,
yes,
absolutely. Like, look, I don't want to hear that they haven't played anybody, okay? Like, the 49ers just lost to a Rams team with no Puka and no Cooper Kupp. The Patriots beat the Bengals. The Raiders beat the Ravens, who just lost to the Panthers. Like, this is life in the NFL. There's a lot of parity this year. It's kind of looking like the MLB in a sense that, like, I'm not sure there's, like, any number one dynamite team. There's a lot of really good teams. I think the thing is, like, we know what the problem with the offense is. Like, the offense can do well on anybody. The line needs to play well. The defense, you look at and you go, well, we don't know, because they haven't really played any challenging offenses. But I don't know, man. The defense looks pretty good to me. I mean, if all of a sudden we're going to find out that, like, Leonard Williams is out for a while and I think Mafe left hurt, like, if we start losing guys like that, then I'm going to be worried. But, I mean, I think I told you guys before the season, I bet the Seahawks 7-1 to win the division. I bet Geno MVP 110-1. Like, I love this team. I think we're going to win the division this year, and I think a lot of people are going to be eating crow when Geno holds that Super Bowl trophy, and then they're going to go, well, he didn't really do it. Okay. Yeah, we're a great team. Sorry, Mariners. Season's over. You guys kill me. All right. Love you, Bump. Love you, Stace. Keep it up.
Thanks for the call, Nelson. Nelson says Zach Charbonnet gets my game ball. More importantly, though, this is a playoff team. The Seahawks are for real.
Hey, my man bet for Geno to win the MVP. If that goes down, that's going to be one of the greatest returns in a bet.
He said 100 to 1.
Man, I think it was more than that.
I bet for the first time going to Emerald Downs. I was like, oh, this is what betting is?
Recently?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you bet?
I bet I would do like $10, $5 things, but I would do by name. Like if there was a horse named Lean Cuisine, I thought that was cute. But then I started being like, okay, what might actually happen? Let me tell you what. I'm not encouraging gambling. I think it can be a slippery slope.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's a crazy payout. Like I understand the concepts of it now. That's what I'm saying.
I get it.
Oh, so you make 20 times. Oh.
I'll put $5 down.
Got me in trouble. Okay.
You don't want to leave? Derek's like, let's go, Stacey. Let's go.
Yeah, no, the ponies. Let's go to Mark. Mark, who gets your game ball, and are the Seahawks for real?
Well, let me start by saying absolutely the Seahawks are for real. We'll know more after the Detroit game. But good grief, our defense is amazing. And my game ball, well, I want 2 game balls. I want one to go to Geno Smith, and I want one to go to DK Metcalf. Because, holy smokes, 2 weeks in a row, he's made a connection with DK for a touchdown run. It's just amazing, unbelievable how good that connection between Geno and DK is.
Thank you for the call. To Mark's last point about that connection between Geno and DK, is there a play, and Bump, it doesn't have to be from this past game, but is there a play where you felt that, like you saw that and you thought that is a quarterback who is aware of where DK is at all times? That is a wide receiver who knows how his quarterback throws and his timing?
Nah, it's Geno letting the defense manipulate where he's going with the ball. So it's more just Geno making the correct decision. There hasn't been, other than, the back shoulder throw.
Mm.
That's just Geno putting it in a spot where only he can get it, and DK coming through for his quarterback because the coverage says you don't throw that football. But because it's DK and Geno puts it in a good spot, you're good to go. Underrated call because my man dropped 2 timeless phrases. Good grief, and holy smokes. That will be around to the end of time.
I need to say good grief more often.
Good grief, holy
Goodness
smokes.
gracious. Let's wrap with Bill in Yelm. Bill, who gets your game ball, and are the Seahawks for real?
Hey, Stacey. Well, I like Zach Charbonnet for the game ball.
Okay.
He did what Zach Charbonnet does, run into guys, run over guys. I saw one run where he ran over a guy and then hit the defensive cornerback in the face with a stiff arm, Pez dispensered his head. And then Seahawks, I think, are pretty for real. I look at this season as like college where they play some lesser teams for a couple of games, and then with Detroit coming in on Monday, I think this is the beginning of the real season for them.
Thanks for the call, Bill. I'm going to end with Bill's
I love our demographic.
I know.
Pence dispensered his head. Y'all kids don't know what that is.
Bump had his mic off because he was taking a drink. Bump laughed out loud when you said that. You just didn't hear it, but he was laughing. You might have heard it on my mic. I'm glad that he mentioned college, actually, because one thing that I find myself reminding over and over is the talent gap between NFL teams is so much tinier than the talent gap between college teams. So to Bill's point, hey, people are looking at it saying, oh, you're playing weaker opponents. The gap between where the best NFL team is and where the Panthers are, the Panthers can still find a way to win.
Yeah.
On any roster in the NFL is NFL talent. It's first-round talent. Are great players and Pro Bowlers.
Every roster has Pro Bowlers on it. Every single roster has a Pro Bowler, at least one on it. The Dolphins with a quarterback, they are a playoff team. Go ahead and get Russell Wilson, Dolphins, and see what you do with it. You get a quarterback, this team is going to be alive. They have the Titans, the Patriots, the Colts, and the Cardinals coming up next. They go get a quarterback and win 4 games in a row. they're back in this thing, man. Not even 4 games. Win 2 games in a row, you're back in this thing. So the Dolphins, they just lacked a quarterback. I think the other 2 teams we played, had some strengths, but more weaknesses.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. What I need to know coming your way in 20 minutes. You can get your questions in at any point this hour. 866-979-3776. 866-979-3776. Any question, text it now. 4 Down Territory coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Yeah, ring the alarm. The Seahawks are 3-0. Another victory.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
What a start for this season. What a start for the career of Mike McDonald.
I mean, to hold Miami to 1 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down in the NFL. This is the NFL. To hold a team to 1 of 15.
And oh, by the way, the rest of the division is all 1 and 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
How would you like to have a brand new roof in time for winter? And even better, how about an honest local contractor known for their quality work?
Can you have both?
If you use Asset Roofing, you will have both.
That's right. I'm Anthony with Asset Roofing, and we've replaced thousands of Western Washington roofs. We've replaced all types of roofs, both residential and commercial. We want to help local homeowners replace their roof before winter.
I can personally recommend Asset Roofing. I was impressed by their communication and knowledge. Their quality work and attention to detail made for a very pleasant experience.
I'm pleased to hear that. We strive to deliver a quality, long-lasting roof replacement you can trust and an experience that will give you peace of mind.
Now through winter, if you need your roof replaced, make sure you get a bid from Asset Roofing. Get a free estimate now at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, Brock Heward, back again with my good friends at Tila Mortgage. And despite the difficult economy and higher rates, Tila's been working hard, helping people during these uncertain times. If credit card debts, car loans, or other payments are hurting your credit score and killing your cash flow, well, Tila can help you take control of your finances with programs like a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. Keep in mind that this powerful tool allows you to keep your low fixed rate first mortgage in place while providing access to your home equity so you can consolidate those high interest bills into one lower, more manageable payment. Tila's helped Washingtonians consolidate debts with HELOCs and refinance loans for over 25 years. They're also experts at purchase and reverse mortgages. With hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tila's committed to honest and ethical lending. Call Tila today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker, NMLS 2472046.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
The Mike McDonald Show. The first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
We want to play a certain way, and you're just going to chisel away at it every day.
Presented by Emerald Queen Casino. Seahawks Insider. Brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. Now here's Maura Dooley.
The Seahawks run defense was on a mission to play better against the run this week against the Dolphins after allowing 185 total rushing yards to the Patriots the previous week. They achieved that goal yesterday, allowing the Dolphins just 63 yards on the ground. Here's linebacker Tyrell Dodson on what made the difference.
The little details. Eyes, feet, hands. Not only just hands, like knowing where to place your hands, being very detailed about that stuff, and just guys getting to the rock. We were pretty, like Jay Love said last week, we were pretty sluggish, but we weren't sluggish today. Guys came ready to play. People were pissed off. So I'm glad to see how we responded to that.
The Seahawks Insider is brought to you by Pacific Lamp and Supply. For the latest on the Seahawks anytime, go to seattlesports.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
At Mazda of Everett, you can always expect to receive exceptional customer service and exceptional deals. Mazda of Everett is a great friend of Seattle sports, and you'll be satisfied with both. Shop from over 600 new Mazdas in stock. And right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? It feels like working with family when you work with Mazda of Everett. You will drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
As a reminder, so that you have some time, get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Any question, 866-979-3776, first down bump. The offensive line had its struggles on Sunday, but what's something they do that does really help the pass game, especially in the middle of the field?
Well, I should rephrase that. They don't do it themselves. They're told to do it through the play call. But what Grubb does, and other teams do it, but I like watching the Seahawks get it done, is move the linemen in the pass pro. They show a split zone look. Like they'll take the tight end connected to the right side of the line of scrimmage and have them go to the other side when the ball is snapped, like they're going to do a split zone, but they're just sliding the protection, they're blocking. They'll take the guard and the tackle and have them pull like they're running a counter and slide the protection to the left, but they're just showing run, but getting into a pass pro. And what it does is freezes the linebackers and makes them respect the run. Therefore, you can pop passes over the top. It's just another way to make linebackers second guess themselves. It's so hard to play linebacker in this league now with all this movement, linemen being disciplined, not getting downfield. So the movement in the pass pro is filthy. It's hard for linebackers. It's going to create throwing lanes for Geno.
Second down. What player needs to be recognized for the goal line stand the Hawks had in the fourth quarter?
Jonathan Hankins. You're not going to see his name pop up on the stat sheet very much because he's an interior lineman, defensive lineman. But Murphy played 12 snaps. Williams played 5 or 6. And Hankins did his thing down there, man. He got to the quarterback. He was dipping and ripping. He was sliding, getting to the A, the B gap, disrupting all the mesh in the backfield. It was beautiful to watch. And I didn't really notice him until this morning when I'm watching the game for like the third time. And I go, hold on, who's 9'7"? 9'7" getting in the backfield, blowing stuff Man, he's been in the league for a long time. He's played like for the Cowboys, for the Giants, I mean, for everybody. And he's going to be vital, especially if Murphy and Williams aren't able to go on Monday Night Football against the Detroit Lions. So when you go back, if you go back and you watch that game again, go to that stand in the fourth quarter and watch 9-7 go to work, man. It's beautiful. Quick hands, good leverage, nice and controlled violence back there.
And the interior guys, offensively and defensively, have to have the most thankless jobs out of the spotlight, but also the most important to any team's success. Like, go look at offensive or defensive line rankings for Super Bowl teams, certainly for playoff teams, especially top seeds, and you're going to find that that's a really strong group far more often than not. Ask an NFL fan, hey, name me 3 centers in the NFL.
Man.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Can I name you 3?
I could have. I used to be able to, maybe by virtue of them having formerly been Seahawks or having been drafted, or maybe notable ones. Obviously, Jason Kelsey was one.
Posick a center?
I think he's still a center, but what if he's moved to guard? I don't know anymore. I don't know.
And you know what? You got homework. I need
Creed Humphreys.
4 centers tomorrow. You listeners, name 4 centers tomorrow. Don't do it now because you're going to look on Google and do all your stuff.
Third down. What's something about Grubb's pass game that makes it difficult to defend?
The layers. So many layers. That offense is like me when I have to be outside in the winter. I got at least 3 or 4 layers on. And that's what this offense does, man. In the pass game, there's crossing layers. You got a shallow, you got a deep cross, you got a spot route over the ball, and then you're moving the quarterback. It forces linebackers to have to communicate. It forces safeties to have to pass routes off. And then you combine that with the pass pro I was just talking about when you're showing the counter. Boom, the linebackers bite up, bam. Then you got Tyler Lockett going from right to left, yeah. And then you have JSN going from left to right. Boom. Then you have DK taking a shot down the field. There are so many layers to this thing. If you can get the run game going and have the linebackers believe in what they're seeing and then use the run game as the pass pro, it's so confusing and it paints the picture beautifully for Geno. I'm really impressed by what I've seen so far. He also does your traditional 2x2 mirrored concepts when need be, but the layers, man, the way he's moving guys around. And then add the pre-snap movement to that. I'm telling you, man, it's fun to watch Grubb call a game. You snap, you get out the huddle, 15 seconds. You start an empty. You move your running back. All right, forget that. Now you're going to move a receiver from right to left. Cool. Then you snap the ball. You're going to show a counter look, play action. Nope, not there. Then you have a crossing route going left to right. I mean, it's hard to play defense against this team when they're moving and grooving. So get the run game going so linebackers believe in what they're seeing.
I was listening to the Ringer NFL show podcast, and one of the hosts was saying that Ryan Grubb is off to a better start than he was thinking, that he had maybe underestimated what that transition from college to the pros would be like for Grubb. And one of the things that he pointed to is he feels like someone who just understands how to really utilize his wide receivers. And so he pointed to DK, and he was like, I can feel DK's presence. In particular, he was like, rather than just sending DK on a bunch of fade routes and being like, well, maybe he'll come down with 2 of these, it's like, how about we target DK a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, maybe get him in space, let him run, and like do what he does best. When you think about, just what feels different under Grubb so far, is there a position group that stands out? Is there the way that someone's being used that stands out?
Just receivers in general. They're doing everything. I mean, we see the short game. We see the shots down the field. We see the deep cross to shallows. And he moves these guys around too, man. No one's limited in this offense. It's fun.
4th down. Who got some valuable snaps late in the game Sunday, and what needs to be better offensively?
Man, they had the 2s in there. They got Knight, who got 35 snaps. Kobe Bryant got 20 snaps. Drake got 19. Pritchett 7. Brown 33. Bowser 12, Gibson 15, Wallace 18. When you have a lead like they had in the fourth quarter, you're allowed to sit some guys, keep them healthy, but allow these younger guys and these 2s to get valuable reps. What needs to change? Their third downs were horrible. You got 3rd and 15, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 22, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 22, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. The average down and distance on 3rd down, the distance was 12.8. That is so difficult to do, man. So they got to tighten that up. And that starts with the penalties, man. Too many penalties pushing you back, too many negative plays. They found a way to win this game, but if you want to beat these better teams, you can't have that happen. But I'm glad that some of these younger guys and number 2s got some reps.
Man, the way that Colt McCoy was just a great quarterback name. Tyus Bowser. Bowser is a last name for a linebacker feels right.
Yeah, it does.
You know, something about it. Like, there's other good linebacker names.
Radigan was a good one too.
Radigan was a good linebacker name. Like that would be if you think like, okay, if there was a movie, if there's a version of The Program or whatever, like one of your guys' football movies being
Don't say
made.
It like that. Don't say it like that.
The character name, would it make sense?
Latimer.
You know? Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had some liver problems.
Yeah. You know, I met that guy.
You did?
I met him in real life. Yeah.
What did you say? Was this after the program?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We were playing football outside of my buddy's house, and he lived down the street. We had no idea. He came outside and tossed a football with us for a while.
No.
Yeah.
And he was
awesome.
like, you know, I've been part of a D1 program.
Yeah. I was actually All-American.
Yeah. So I basically won us that game. Coach knew that I was juicing, but we just let it slide.
I cried.
Rate, review, subscribe to the Bump and Stacey podcast. We're available wherever it is you get your pods, as well as seattlesports.com and the Seattle Sports app. And get your questions in now for what I need to know. Any question you have, any question, it's 866-979-3776. That's next.
This is Seattle Sports.
Thompson sets, stops, looks, gets hit, goes down. Derek Hall comes around the corner, and he is there to add to his sack total.
On the defense side of the ball, we just trying to come out, be resilient, start fast, keep going, and finish the game. And I think we did that really, really well today.
Gino from the shotgun, hands it to Charbonnet, left side. He's in. Touchdown, Seahawks.
I thought we took a step forward today. It's a great win. I mean, it's awesome to be 3-0, but obviously we got a big one coming up too. So
we are the home of the Seahawks.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning. Your crown is disappearing. Hair loss had me feeling like I was losing my identity altogether. Well, I've got some good news. It's a simple one-day treatment that worked for me. The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. It starts growing new hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly memberships. Those can help retain what you have. But what if you want your own natural hair in specific areas like I did? You decide how much, how thick, and where. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class leading doctors like Dr. Perungo, it's not a maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185. Advanced Hair is the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and they are the team that I personally recommend. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. I'm a 5th-generation Pacific Northwesterner, graduated from UW and Seattle U School of Law. At Warrior Injury Law, we have years of experience in the trenches, fighting insurance companies for the people of Washington, my people. If you've been injured, you need a lawyer that is tough, confident, and battle-tested. Call us at 253-WARRIOR for your free case review. Warrior Injury Law. Battle-tested.
Eddie's
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
This is Seattle Sports.
Stops, looks, gets hit, goes down, Derek Hall, and he is there to add to his sack total.
The home of the Seahawks.
This is Brock Hewitt. If you're retired or retiring soon and concerned about the future, call Tila Mortgage today to find out the benefits of a reverse mortgage. Tila's been locally owned and trusted right here in the Seattle Metro for over 25 years. Just ask yourself, do I settle for a retirement that just gets me by? I say no. Tila will see if you can retire more comfortably with a home equity conversion mortgage. They can help you refinance your current mortgage and convert a portion of your home's equity into a line of credit, providing benefits like no monthly mortgage payments or cash back to pay off bills, do home improvement projects, or build up a cash reserve for safety and peace of mind. Plus, you get to keep your home. Tila, spelled Tila, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction and Peyronie's disease using acoustic wave therapy. No pills and no shots. But it's not our success stories that separate us from the other clinics. It's how we interact with our patients. From your first call, our medical staff will take the time to answer your questions, whether it's about your ED, how our treatment works, or even about the cost. Our goal is to inform and educate you so you're comfortable when you come in for your first visit. So if you're tired of frustrating nights, you're ready to get off Viagra and put an end to your ED or Peyronie's disease, stop living with this problem and do something about it. Give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know, get your questions in now to the Mac and Jack's text line 866-979-3776. What I need to know, who's the cheapest person you know? And are you willing to say it on air?
Yeah, my dad, Mark Anthony Bumpus.
And I'll say his first, middle, and last name.
Man, and now, down south, he's very frugal. And we used to go to Walmart. And that was like the greatest thing in the world growing up, going to Walmart. Because of the deals, the rollbacks.
Yeah.
And my dad is cheap as heck. So, yeah, Mark Anthony Bumpus, it is you.
I was going to say my very best friend, but I don't think she's cheap. I think she's very careful with money. She's a saver. So then I thought, well, who is it? And I was racking my mind. And then I thought, oh, no, it's me.
It's you.
It's me. I am my cheapest friend. I am like, where can I find the cheapest possible thing to replace this with? Yeah, it's unfortunately, it might be me. What I need to know, Bump, if you were the Lions OC, what weaknesses on the Hawks defense would you attempt to expose?
I would make them stop the run. I mean, that's been the weakness so far. You had 185 against New England. I feel like with Montgomery and Gibbs back there, you have a nice combo in the backfield. So they're not horrible at it, but that's what their that's what their weakness is, I would say, at this point.
What I need to know. If you could swap out either Tyrell Dodson or Jerome Baker and put Jordan Brooks back, would you do it? Or are we better now with the Dodson-Baker combo?
I'm good with Dot.
Yeah, I'm good. I think Jordan Brooks was great and is great, but I don't know that I've started the season feeling like linebacker is a major issue or point of concern.
Feel good about it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward, but I feel okay. Let's see what I need to know. I probably missed the conversation, but how's your fantasy going so far?
Woo! Depends on what league you're talking about. I got
'Cause you're in 3, which is way too many.
Yeah, I'm like 1 and 2 in one league and 3 in another league.
Someone said, what I need to know, how do I go about finding a great Seahawks bar, but they don't have social media? So I think they're just asking. Any Seahawks.
One,
kind of Google
media.
that, yeah.
Well, this texter, if you're in Seattle, almost any bar is going to be a
Seahawks bar. They have a
Seahawks
253 area code.
Okay. So if anyone has
Someone
recommendations.
down south.
Yeah, but find a bar that has food you like.
Find a bar
staff
with,
that you
with
like.
pull tabs.
Pull tabs are a great time.
And they would be a Seahawks bar.
Some games to play, some regulars that you don't mind running into. That's your bar. That's your Seahawks bar.
I went to Dino's last week before my flight and put like $50 down in pull tabs and walked away with like $200.
The thrill that I get when I see the $1.
$1.
I did it. What I need to know. Has Derek Hall done enough to keep his starting job?
Once Uchenna gets back, I think the beautiful part is that they're going to ease Uchenna in anyway. So, yeah, he's got it for now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, though, it's a good problem to have where you're like, our backup might be good enough to be a starter. We're going to keep it with this guy because Uchenna hasn't lost it.
Yeah.
Importantly.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I need to know. Speaking of, will we have Uchenna Nwosu and Ken Walker back in time for the Lions?
No idea.
Oh, man, I wish I knew.
Clue.
Here's the thing. Because they'd never put Uchenna on IR, I just assumed it would be within 4 weeks. So I was anticipating it. I was asked, I was on, I think I was on Sportsnet 650, and they were like, when do you think Uchenna will be back? And I said, well, because he wasn't on IR, clearly they're hoping that it's going to be closer to 3 or 4 weeks. So maybe week 3, like they're back at home. It's against Miami. Obviously, he wasn't out there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I feel like it's safe to wonder if Monday night you're going to get Uchenna back out there. They chose not to put him on IR. They also have not said anything about a setback. So it meant that they were hoping he'd be closer to 4 weeks and they wouldn't have to keep him out for the full 4. What I need to know, let's see, who's the best NFC team so far?
I'm going to go.
I would say the Saints. They just fell.
Nah, man, it's crazy out here right now. You know who it is? The Vikings. The Vikings.
I started opening my mouth to say, don't you dare say Sam Darnold and the Vikings.
It's the Vikings.
But how is this not luck by Sam Darnold?
Because he has 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He don't do that by luck.
That's true. That's a very fair point. You know, when you hit me with stats, what can I say? Through week 2, I would have said, man, the Saints are putting up crazy numbers.
And they lost.
They did lose. And Derek Carr kind of, like in general, the Saints, I think we're expecting to regress back to kind of where we thought they'd be.
It's the Vikings.
Now, what if the Packers...
I can't make myself say it. I can't do it.
What if the Packers are able to stay afloat without Jordan Love in the lineup? Let's say they're, 4-1 or something by the time he comes back.
Sure. The thing they don't have going for them, though, is they're the youngest team. They're inexperienced. I could fully see them running into the wall that when the Rams first kind of broke that playoff drought.
The playoffs last year.
No, but I'm saying, like, when the Rams got back to the playoffs and Sean McVay had taken over and everyone was very excited, it was still almost like a year too early. So I wonder if that's where they were, where it's just like another year of seasoning for their squad. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
They're pretty good at full strength.
Yeah. It's the Vikings, though.
We haven't mentioned the 49ers a single time.
It's the Vikings.
I know the 49ers are 1 and 2.
They're banged up. CMC's out. Debo's out.
Yeah.
Kittle's out. You need your dogs out there.
So we're really going with Packers, Vikings. Why not the Lions? We haven't mentioned.
It's that type of year.
Lions.
I mean, Lions haven't faced the Seahawks yet.
That's exactly right. This is the Lions' first big test.
Did you say you heard?
That's right. What I need to know, which network has the best football theme? Fox, CBS, NBC, or ESPN/ABC?
CW Football Saturdays. All day.
What?
Does CW still have that frog with the top hat and the cane?
That's WB.
Oh, okay.
That would be funny, though. Open up Football Saturday with the frog. That'd be awesome.
I said go find a Seahawks bar with nice people and food you like. They said, nah, Stacey, I want to find a bar with rude people and bad food. That's what I like. Okay, touche. What I need to know, is Tomlin going to be forced to stick with Justin Fields? No way you put in Russ right now.
No one forces Tomlin to do anything.
No,
let's make that clear.
You can't be 3-0 and put Russ in.
No, that's not forced to. It's just going with the vibe of your team. And if Fields is undefeated, why would you mix things up now?
Yeah. What I need to know, would you rather never be able to access social media again or never listen to music again?
Social media.
Never be able to access social media. I'm okay with that.
All day.
It is how I get a lot of my news, but I guess I can Google. I guess I can read a paper.
Right.
All right, you guys, that'll do it for us today. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
A lot of good stuff on tape that we should be excited about, and there's a lot of stuff I think the feeling should be like, wow, we are still in the infant stages of this thing, and we were able to find 3 wins here in the first 3 weeks. We need to step on the gas here. It's an opportunity for us to really make a jump as a team, and I think that's the way they'll be thinking. This next game's going to be really physical coming up. You know, that's what they're hanging their hat on in Detroit, so the challenge is to step it up a notch.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, you know, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.